should have just got a holding screen on. What was Give you holding screen.
Alex, do you want to go and do the ref for me?
We've got audio, mate.
Yeah,
We've got audio coming through. We're going to have that audio? Audio. You muted everything? It stopped. Does it stop now?
So they could have you wouldn't have known until today.
Is it just going to be this?
Oh, yeah. I get burnt up in the layering on the washing.
Good afternoon and welcome to Harvey Haddon Sports Village here in sunny Nottingham, where we welcome you back with Caesars TV for the next instalment in the Nottingham Caesars 2017 season. Nottingham's looking really good today and we welcome the Sandwell Steelers in association. Ball 0. From the ensuing kick-off, good kick initially, and the return of fumbles out, and at that stage you think advantage coverage team, but the Bulls returner manages to almost break through the ranks of the Caesars special teams unit until he was forced in defence on his way to the end zone, for the score just to be taken out to 19-14 in favour of the Nottingham Caesars. 47 there, Jason Potter really tried to run that man down, but just too much gas at the end of the day. Ashing at quarterback then, he looks again to his left and he finds a wide open Robbie Jones, who beats the coverage and makes an athletic grab in the corner of the end zone to once again wrestle the advantage back to a breathable space for Nottingham. Dan Johnson again for the extra points, which he converts. makes the score 26-14 deep into the third quarter. Birmingham again look to go up top, and this time instead of a completion, the ball is picked off. And number 32 this time, Adam Wilson, who runs it back into Bulls territory and sets Nottingham up again for another push at the end zone. Ash once again looks to this left side of the field, favoured left side for Nottingham on this particular afternoon, and he manages to find number 16, Jamie Molnar, who wrestles his way into the end zone for the final score of the afternoon. The AT again from Johnson is good, which gave us a final score in Nottingham on the 21st of May of the Nottingham Caesars 33 and the Birmingham Bulls 14, taking Nottingham to that 5-0 record which they currently possess. Good afternoon and welcome here to Harvey Haddon this afternoon. Afternoon, George.
Afternoon, Matt.
Welcome to a lovely sunny afternoon here in Nottingham. We're taking up a different commentary position this afternoon. Our executive producer Steve Matthews is just returning from a venture with his work. So we have Tom Howe, who's running things today and currently channeling his inner Matthews and just getting a little bit stressed. But we're set for a good game of football this afternoon, I think, George?
Yeah, absolutely. Two high-class teams here, and obviously one undefeated and one only just lost to the Falcons a couple of weeks ago.
So you've seen from that initial little bit of video that we've just played you there, Nottingham coming undefeated at 5-0, and Sandwell are currently 3-1. Been a real good start to the season, really, for Nottingham. Although at the moment now, you might argue, with no disrespect to Coventry or to Birmingham, this is where Nottingham's season really will kick in. Yeah,
I mean, Sandwell and Leicester are the two toughest teams, I think, in the division. Obviously, Caesars holding their own at the moment, but this is the first time they play either team, so we'll see what they've got to bring.
So last time out here at Harvey Haddon, we saw earlier on that the Bulls were the visitors, and that was the second meeting, a real topsy-turvy game. What did you make of that last one that you saw?
It was a very up-and-down game. Both teams showed promise. Pageant, the Bulls head coach, playing linebacker, he was very, very good on defence, did well for them. Caesars' offence towards the end of the game got things going, but the real star of the show, I think, for the Caesars was their defence, and probably Andrew Wilkins is the player to name.
Well, a number of times the Bulls' offence, particularly in the first quarter, looked to go to the QB option, and the pressure that Wilkins in that front seven showed.
You know, Wilkins is fast around the edge. He does a very good job. He's got a very good read of the game. He was with Nottingham for a while, the universities. And I think that quarterback, the pressure just got too much for him. He was a rookie quarterback stepping up, and came crumbling down at the end of the day.
So, but loads to bring in this afternoon. Not only the game here from Nottingham, but we're also going to be checking in with our friends at Double Coverage, who are going to be providing us with updates and scores from surrounding games in the country. We'll have a little bit of a chat about George and his junior programme, as we usually do, and coming off the latest result against Chester last week.
Yeah. I don't want to relive that.
Well, it all ended up well for you.
Well, in the end.
As is normal practice, though, we managed to catch up with some of the coaches prior to the game. To begin with, you conducted our interviews today.
I did. He allowed me to do something.
Well, then it sounds like it went very well.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. So, first of all, we're going to hear from the Nottingham Special Teams Coordinator. That's Ed Green.
Good afternoon, Coach. Welcome to Harvey Haddon.
Thanks.
I'd like to introduce you to
All right.
Coach Ed Green. He's the Special Teams Coordinator for the Nottingham Caesars. Coach, let's start with a simple one. How do you feel about the season so far?
I think it's gone really well so far. Results-wise, obviously there's a bit to work on still for everybody, but
Tom,
it's good to
when
see
we go in
wins.
with the table in, so I'll just tilt down.
How do you feel about the special
You
teams?
just warn me when you're going to put the overlay with the table in.
I'm pleased we've been able to use a lot of players because we've used a lot of starters, but also the rookies coming in doing well. Everyone's filled in, done their jobs, and we've made a few plays as well, so that's been good.
You're happy with how you're helping out your university?
Yeah, I think especially in a few games, remember we've left them some good field position for the offence to punch in the touchdown.
So as Special Teams Coordinator, what do you look for in a Special Teams player?
Mainly just the willingness to get involved, to put your best effort in, because it's not as glamorous maybe sometimes as offence or defence, but
I tried to tell them to get it down, didn't I?
anyone who's willing to run fast, hit hard, put the effort in, that's what I'm looking for.
So, as your first year, and I should say it's your first year as Special Teams Coordinator, how have you found it, and how have you found it stepping up from a player to be a coach?
I've enjoyed it a lot. I'm still, getting used to the idea of our asking people what to do and telling people what to do and trying to build my confidence up. But I've had a lot of help from some of the other coaches, and the players have been helpful how they respond to me as well. So
and have you found time to find your coach's ethos yet?
Not exactly. I'm just trying to include as many people as possible, but I'm learning and getting there, hopefully.
It's good to hear. Give plenty of players plenty of experience.
Yeah.
So, final question then.
Okay.
What are we going to expect from today's game? Obviously, Sandwell a very tough side.
Yeah. We're going to try and hit them hard to start with, putting a few more of our sort of hard-hitting defensive starters in. Hopefully get more of the rotation in later on if we can have a good start, strong start.
That's fantastic. Thank you for your time, Coach.
Okay.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
We are here, you know, for all the Caesars home games. We kind of wanted to mix it up a little bit, not just talk to Coach Bowes all the time.
Yeah. Let's next comment. Let's move on. No, Barry's all right, but it is nice to get different perception from different coaches, particularly having a younger coaching staff this year. Ed, obviously, in his first year as special teams coordinator and coaching. Vanden, first year head coach, and Grant, when we get him as well, first year DC for the Caesars. So.
Sure. So, mentioned earlier on, we're midway through the season for Nottingham. They've played 5 games. Standings currently in the division. Nottingham, as you can see there at the top of the table, currently stand on 5-0. We've got also that Leicester-Sandwell battle. They played each other twice now.
I mean, that's interesting. That obviously split the difference so far, and they've got one more game to go.
And the Coventry-Birmingham teams, and when we've interviewed their coaches, their respective coaches, they've talked about these being rebuilding seasons, and because there's been a change at the helm at both situations.
I mean, you know, both teams have shown sign of promise. Obviously, Coventry coming here next week, and I was watching them in a fairly close game, back on the backfield. Both teams definitely showing signs of promise, but yes, it's certainly a rebuilding year for the Jets coming off the season they had last year.
Absolutely. So the Sandwell Steelers come in here. The Sandwell Steelers come in here with a 3-1 record. Like we say, I'm reluctant to say again, but they've had a tougher start to the season.
They have had it. They have.
Leicester.
No, it's. I think the league knows it is a tougher start to the season. You know, we like to think the Caesars are going to bring something today, and they are 5-0.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no reason they can't compete today. But Sandwell, looking at their form coming off last year as well, I think the team to beat.
I think a lot of the pundits out there assumed that Sandwell were going to be the division champions elect before we started.
Falcons obviously coming off out of the starting blocks really well, but I think that split difference, that win over the Falcons for Sandwell, that's going to be a key factor, and it'll be very interesting to see what happens in that final game of the season.
Sure. So this fixture today, the reverse fixture this time last year, was a real close one. It was a 6-0 decision in favour of Sandwell, if you remember that one.
Yeah, it was.
And unfortunately, that was the first Caesars loss, a home loss, or a loss of any kind of the season.
Yeah.
And then the season's kind of crumbled away from there. I think you managed to catch up with Coach Barrow.
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
we
Coach
did.
Barrows. Coach Barrow then, so we'll get his thoughts on where he is and where he brings his Steelers team in today.
Good afternoon again. So we're now joined with Sandwell Steelers head coach Russ Barrow. Russ, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
You're good. So, let's start with a simple one. How's your season gone so far?
Generally pretty happy. Obviously one hiccup against Leicester last 2 weeks ago, but we've split the series with them so far, so not got too much to complain about.
Obviously you've had 2 very interesting games with Falcons, both fairly close. Tell us a bit more about them.
First one obviously was amazing. One of the best games I've ever been involved in. It was just an absolute shootout. Neither offense really looked like being stopped at any point. Second one, I think, so it got a bit out of hand towards the end, but I think it really doesn't give a good idea of the scoreline, the final scoreline of how close that game was. You know, it was really, really evenly fought.
You've got a few younger guys. We just had a quick discussion. You've got the likes of James Jones-Cross. How have they come in and played a part of the team this year?
Oh, phenomenal. Particularly on offense, the Lions Juniors guys have come in. We've got Josh Lawrence at wide receiver, James at running back, and Callum as well. We brought a couple of guys in on defense from the same. So we've got Ahil Chowdhury now playing DB. They're just phenomenal. They really kind of speak to how good that program is at developing guys.
So a little less about football and maybe more towards Bafa or about Bafa. How do you feel the season and transport-wise has been better this year for for the Central Conference?
Uh,
Has it helped you out?
yeah, cost-wise, yeah, because guys just travel to games themselves now. I think it's the first one we've got, or maybe the only one we are going to get a coach to, obviously, because everyone's fairly local. Birmingham is kind of 15 minutes for some guys. Everywhere's all right. It's a lot better than Peterborough and whatever else.
So this is your first year as head coach. How do you think you've done so far?
I don't know. I don't really want to speak about it myself. I'll leave it up to everyone else to decide. I think we're doing, we're doing okay. It's a tough division this year. I think it's the toughest division we've had so far. In the whole history of the team. So Leicester obviously stepping up big time. Nottingham yet to be defeated. Bulls very, very strong. Cov as well have their moments. Everyone's okay.
So, first year head coach, have you had time to figure out a bit of a coaching philosophy? I know you've done some coaching beforehand. But...
Yeah, I mean, really the one big thing for us this year is just constantly kind of examining our processes and what we do and trying to make them better all the time. So, but on and off the field, one of our big things is off-field organisation, because I think that really, more than a lot of people think, contributes to the general culture and overall success of the team. Yeah.
So, back towards today's game, what are your thoughts, what are you expecting from today?
It's tough to know, really. Obviously, undefeated Caesars, so can't take anything for granted. Not really sure what to expect. We've seen a lot of different looks from the Caesars in the scout we've done, so we've got a lot of we've planned for a lot of eventualities, and hopefully one of them materialises. And we
well, coach, thank you for taking the time out to speak to us. Good luck for
today.
No
problem. Thank you very much.
I look forward to commentating on your game.
Thank you. Look forward to it.
Thank you.
So a very positive head coach coming in.
Yeah.
And if you're looking down at some of the scores here, those first two victories against Coventry and Birmingham, they've amassed 103 points and conceded 0.
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive by any stretch of the imagination. Steelers' defence, last season was very, very strong. Obviously this year, coming out the blocks, very, very strong. But Falcons just a formidable offence.
So, I suppose coming into today's game, you look at those results in terms of the Steelers' results and what they've done against the likes of Birmingham and Coventry, and then you look at the way that even though Nottingham are at this 5-0 season, midway point of their season, undefeated, it will be fair to say they've limped through some of those games.
Yeah, I mean, credit to Caesars' defence particularly, have been on fire. Very, very good defence, very good defence. The offense has been slow to get out the starting blocks, but they have made a change at quarterback now, I believe. Not sure who's coming out today, and whether that works or not for them, I don't know.
Well, having spoken to the coaches a couple of weeks back, and whether we broached the subject of a quarterback controversy, and the response, as it is from most units, is no. Both quarterbacks are getting the same amount of reps. They're in there. It's part of the game plan. But it'll be interesting to see going forward against Sandwell and against Leicester whether or not one of those two quarterbacks does take a more premier role.
Yeah, I mean, from my understanding, the last game they played against the Bulls, Ash did start and he played the full game. But you're trying to manage two big personalities in that squad, and it's very, very difficult.
So, again, if we look at the remainder of the Nottingham's season, Coventry, as you've mentioned here, next week, and then Leicester back-to-back before they then take on the Sandwell Steelers. Yeah. What realistically can Nottingham hope to get out of these final 5 games?
I suspect, after speaking to Coach Warner, they'll be trying to work for 6-4, minimum 6-4. And if they get that, then they'll be happy and should make playoffs at that.
Okay, well, I'm just glancing down to the field. We can see the teams heading out there to the coin toss. So we're going to take our position back at our commentary position as the camera just rolls away down to the field, which will then get us set for today's action. So realistically, carrying on from what we mentioned about that, what the 6-4 record that you hoped, you'd hope that they'd take the next week's game against Coventry.
Yep.
So they'll have a 6-something record, depending on what happens today.
Coventry, obviously, a team they're going to play 3 times, so they're going to get closer and closer together. They should
know each other better.
They're going to know each other.
And out of those remaining 4, then obviously you've got a home and away fixture against Leicester. You've got this one, and then on the final day again away against Sandwell. Where is that 6th victory coming from?
Nottingham have won the toss and will receive. Okay, gents.
I'm sorry, George. So where's that last?
That would be next week, Coach. 5 + 1. It's a good thing
assuming
you're
they,
a PE teacher.
assuming they lose today is what I was thinking.
Well, Coventry next week.
So 6-4.
6-4.
So
They're
you
5-0 at the
yeah.
moment.
So okay. So you can't
5-0.
see them taking anything off either Sandwell
Okay.
fixture or either Leicester fixture.
Well, at the moment we don't know who or what they're going to bring. Obviously, we've seen Sandwell play Falcons, and we've seen Sandwell play Coventry, but you can't take a lot. Coventry, obviously, they hammered them, but I believe Coventry were missing their quarterback. So you just got to see what comes out today.
Okay, great stuff. Well, Nottingham have won the coin toss and have elected to receive. So as they're getting ready for their field, we've got something to show you to get you ready for this afternoon's game. Currently 5-1. Here we go. Currently 5-0. Sorry,
You're
my
not
mistake.
doing very well with the maths today.
I'm not.
It's a good thing you're a PE teacher.
We've got other things on my mind. We're trying to control various bits and bobs. Tom Howe's doing a fantastic job putting all this together, but giving us a little bit extra responsibility to press buttons and bits and bobs. But anyway, so as I was saying, Nottingham 5-0 currently. The Sandwell Steelers 3-1 currently. We saw the Sandwell sideline getting really pumped up there just prior to taking the field. We've got number 9 ready to kick it off. We've got Alex McKenzie. Alex McKenzie Grist, or Grist, apologies for mispronunciation. Ready to kick it away for the Steelers, and we have back deep to return for Nottingham.
Mr. Electrician himself.
The electrician.
The electrician.
Rob Hardwick. Number 38. I think he is about 38 as well, isn't he?
Not far off.
Not far off.
Not far off.
Got a young man stood to my right here who...
Thanks, coach.
No, to my right.
Oh.
No, who's a PE teacher. The young man stood to my right here who I would have expected to return kicks not so long ago.
Alex.
No, not Alex. Gone very quiet in the stadium as Mackenzie Grist looks to kick the ball away. Checks with both sides of his coverage unit, and away
nice
that
kick.
ball goes. Hardwick fumbles the ball in his end zone and decides to take it out up to the 5. Cuts back, gets to the 10. He's still on his feet. He's got a lane down the sideline, and he does well with that and gets out of bounds up to the 20-yard line.
Goes back to the 20. He's could have taken a knee. Was that a Vuvuzela? Please tell me we've not got a Vuvuzela.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
If it is, it's definitely a West Country one.
It's
because
nearly as bad as Jed when he blew out our ears.
We've
Game.
had Vuvuzelas banned in Nottingham, sure. So here we go then. 1st and 10 Nottingham, and Dan Johnson is the starting quarterback this afternoon as number 7 walks out onto the field to try and lead this Caesars offense against what we already know is a very stingy Sandwell defense.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Obviously, Ash playing the first starting game. He started last week. Is it last week? It was last week, yeah.
It was.
So it's interesting they've come out with Dan. So they bring out different looks.
There's that regular spread formation as the flag is thrown on first down. Jason Robinson, number 27, with the ball, and he gets
that's a loss on the first play.
Absolutely mashed, I think is the technical term for that.
That's that Sandwell defence. It's a solid defence. Nearly as solid as that girder that stands in front of us.
Indeed, which is completely blocking our view. I think that will be against the offence. It'll probably be, well, let's check. It looks like maybe an illegal formation penalty. Linesman pointing both ways at the initial stage. So let's wait for the official word from the field before we get you in touch with our media. In fact, I might be able to do that right now. You can contact the show via Twitter at that hashtag #NotVersusSand this afternoon. We'd love to hear from you. Please get in touch. And it has been deemed a false start.
Illegal procedure on the offence. Number 87 lining up in the neutral zone. The penalty is declined. Result of the play, second down.
So anybody new to the game, that would have been a 5-yard loss, but due to the fact that Sandwell tackled Jason Robinson for a 7-yard loss, they did decline the penalty, which bring up second and 13. Ball put out, and number 82, Sam Kinley. Nice reception, but met immediately for a pickup of 1. And straight away, that Nottingham offence in trouble.
Yeah, Sandwell's defence, like we said, solid defence. I was a little bit stuck to see that Falcons put as many points past them as they did. But in that first game, Falcons' offence managed to outscore them. So,
you see, disappointing for me right from the get-go. You've got a receiver lining up in the neutral zone, a real basic, almost discipline penalty, which puts you on the back foot.
Completely disciplined. You know, you're 5 games in. You can't use that first game nerves as a rookie anymore. It just shouldn't happen.
So let's see. It was a pickup of 4 actually on second down, so it's 3rd and 12. Johnson has 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. He hands the ball off to Robinson, who little conservative and only gets back to the original line of scrimmage, if that, which will bring on the punt unit. And Sandwell should, looking at the wind as well, the flags, the way they're blowing, this could be give Sandwell a real short field for their first possession of the afternoon.
Yeah, not a great start for Caesars' offence. Their offensive line not getting much of a push in the running game either. It's got to be worrying for the OC.
Let's see if that defence that we talked about before the game for Nottingham can be just as dominant as the Sandwell defensive unit appears it will be. Back to kick for Nottingham. We have, can't quite get that number. Is that 82 again? Is that Kinley or is that 87 Johns? We'll try and get that number for you when we can.
It's 87 Johns.
There we go then.
Sam Kinley is just walking down the sideline.
It is, as Johns puts the ball up. It's a high kick that's held up in the wind, and it is really held up in the wind in that short field that I thought Sandwell may get as Ash Matthews down the ball.
Inside the Caesars 30.
Sandwell will start with fantastic field position. It wouldn't surprise me to see quarterback Callum Davidson, who anybody who has been around the game for a while will know has been one of the best junior quarterbacks in the country.
Yeah, but I've actually just spoken to one of his former coaches.
Okay.
He was with the Lions program for 1 year and then went out to Europe.
So it wouldn't surprise me to see Davidson come out throwing, particularly with the wind at his back. And let's see. So we have Davidson at quarterback. We've got 2 receivers, similar formation, spread. Seems to be the way that things are going in this country for the majority of teams. As Davidson hands the ball off to number 28, and that's Luke Thompson.
Seemed to be a big hole there up the Caesars defence. Just making a few yards up the interior.
Let's have a look at that replay again. So, in fact, actually, right on first down, that read option got me. In fact, Davison didn't hand the ball off. He looked to and then pulled the ball out right at the last minute, which is why the ball ended up on the sideline rather than down the middle.
It was a very full me as well.
Got both of us. So here we go. Davison again on.
Got to wake up. Got to get
Davison on second down. He does look to pass this time. He looks to the left. He's got his man, number 23. That's Josh Lawrence.
Josh Lawrence, also a former Lions product.
And Lawrence picks up close to the first down, depending on the spot. And immediately 2 positive plays for the Sandwell offense. And it just shows you how much difference that makes if you just pick up 2 or 3 yards every time.
So I'll see what they bring out this time. I think they're in field goal range regardless, but they won't be thinking of that. They're looking for that end zone.
Indeed they will on 3rd and a yard. So 3rd and 1 Sandwell inside the Nottingham 20. Davison again at quarterback, 2 receivers either side. And he does hand the ball off this time. And there is a big hold up of that interior defensive line, and that is Luke Thompson.
Yeah, it's Mickey Fisher with the tackle, but that's going to be worrying when your safety's making the tackle, and he's having to step over linemen to get there.
So definitely enough for first down yardage. And it'll be 1st and goal just inside the 10-yard line. As that replay again, you can see Thompson just makes one cut to his left, and that offensive line for Sandwell dominant over the Caesars front so far. Same formation with Thompson in the backfield. Switches to the right-hand side of Davison this side as Davison hands the ball to Thompson again. And this time, he's in, and he could be. He's down, looking for the signal on the far side, and that is signal to score.
Yeah, you know, it was really good running, but it was poor tackling from the Caesars defence. It looked like they had him for a 1-2 yard gain, but he just manages to break through and fall forward.
And as starts go, both offensively and defensively, on the replay you can see Thompson takes it, makes very patient, and there was Manning. It might have been Matthews, actually.
Interestingly, I'm not sure that is number 28. That looks more like a 0. Looking at the close-up, it looks more like it's James Jones-Cross.
Okay. We will check that for you.
It's a difficult style on the jersey numbers.
So kick is up and good. And regardless who scored it, we have our score of Nottingham 0 and Sandwell 7 after 1 possession each, and Nottingham will be looking to bounce back from that as soon as is possible. As I've mentioned, you can get in touch with us today. Get in touch with us via Twitter, the hashtag #NotVersusSan, and we will read out your messages. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know who you're cheering on this afternoon. There is the contact up on screen. Hashtag #NotVersusSan. Breaking play, we've got double coverage bringing us some scores this afternoon to keep you updated with, and the interesting one, just looking across the board. Gateshead Senators beating up on the Carlisle Sentinels 28-0 in the first quarter in Division 2. Ouse Valley Eagles in Division 1 South 3-0 ahead of the South Wales Warriors. As Alex Mackenzie Grist is back to kick again. And Hardwick once again stands deep in his own end zone. It's another line drive which goes over and out of the back of the end zone. And at least this time Nottingham will start in decent field position, but got to get something going, because otherwise this game's going to get away from them very quickly.
Yeah, they've got to get that offense working, and they've got to get it working quick. There's no question about that. Having said that, on the pass play that they did run, again, Dan looked like he had decent time in the pocket.
See Davidas there, who has been an integral part of the Caesars offense, number 86 receiver, big tall receiver. Been suffering from an ankle injury of late, and he has kitted up this afternoon, but the fact that the Caesars offense are out on the field now and Davidas is sat on the bench isn't a great sign for him or the team, as Dan comes out with trips to the right, one receiver to the left. Dan looks back to pass, he has got time there, hits Jamie Molnar, number 16, and Molnar again met immediately and will hopefully give him his forward progress, which they do, and that's a pickup of -0.5 yard.
Yeah, Sandwell's defense really, really good at swarming to that ball. They allow the catch, but looking straight on him.
As you say, Dan has got a lane there. He's got time. He's and there, right at the end there's 5 grey jerseys in there. 5 grey jerseys.
It's not good when you're getting up off the floor and you've got their teammates around you and not yours.
Indeed. So 2nd and 11, Nottingham. Johnson again. This time pulls it in and looks for Kinnelly, and it's just out of Kinnelly's grasp a little. And there's a flag there, a late flag. Now, that will be, again, another discipline type penalty. Listen to the official. The replay, there you go. So that ball just floats on Kinnelly.
Wonder whether that's going to be on.
Dead ball after the play was over. Personal foul, 85 of the defence. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's Adam Bates. Adam Bates, defensive lineman for the Steelers, and as much as you don't want it to work like this, hopefully that sort of thing will be the injection that Nottingham just need. They need to pick up a first down just to settle the nerves and make sure.
You know, it's not good for defence. You know, that would have been 3rd down, come up 3rd down and long. Instead, they've given it away. So it's great for the offense, but defense are either going to do one or two things. They're going to slump a bit, or they're going to come in fired up and get that ball back.
So Johnson again with another crack on first down. Again, that front comes. He is under a little more pressure this time, and he puts the ball.
And he nearly got that ball back. That ball was way out.
I think the intended receiver there was 15, Robbie Jones. But again, Dan very much thrown off the back foot as he was playing the play. And he does. To be fair, he steps into the throw as much as he can, but he had to get rid of that ball before he wanted to, with the pressure that Sandwell defence put on top.
Yeah, that was the most pressure we've seen on Dan really all season so far.
2nd and 10 on the Nottingham 35-yard line. Still 7-0 Sandwell. A little over 5 minutes gone in this opening quarter. And this Dan now does have a free play, and he will look to go up top, but unfortunately Johns didn't think the same way. Johns cut his route off. Johnson looked to go down the sideline, which, to be fair, yeah, and Johnson's now waving to his receiver saying, look.
Offside. Defence. Number 72. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Yeah, it was really smart football there from the offense coordinator and the quarterback.
So you can see here, Johnson now knows he has his free play, and John's at the bottom of the screen. As you'll see, he cuts his route off earlier than actually we could get the camera on there, and as a result, Johnson overthrows him by a significant margin.
He does. Obviously, they've noticed that Sandwell are an overly aggressive defence. Sandwell probably prepared for a certain snap count there, and they've just caught him off guard.
So 2nd and 5 for Nottingham this time. Back to pass again. He has got time. He's got a man down the seam. It's Robbie Jones, and Robbie makes the catch at the 25-yard line. He's down at that point, but that's a beautiful pass, and Robbie concentrated on that ball all the way into his hands. And as a coach, that's what we always say: watch that ball all the way in, and that will be the key to your success. But another athletic grab, and we know he's athletic, and unfortunately we don't have a replay on that particular play. Would you believe it?
It was still a stretch to make that grab.
But he carried on running.
He did. He made it.
And the nice thing was for Dan, he gave him a chance. You often see Dan underthrow players.
Yeah. He did.
And actually throwing into the wind as well, when we've said about the flags already. So Caesars a little bit of momentum. Dan flicks the ball, that's this time to Robinson, and Robinson catches and is met immediately for a gain of.
Yeah, the offensive unit seemed to got a couple completions now and seem a bit more sparky, a bit more fired up.
One of the best passes I've seen Dan throw all season, to be fair.
It was a nice pass.
He obviously read that cover 2 defence, knew that there was going to be a gap between the safeties down the middle of the field, and delivered the ball to the point where Robbie did use his athleticism and was able to latch on to the end of it.
Yeah, a touch overthrown, but it was a great grab. And if Robbie had stayed on his feet, he'd have been gone. He'd have been gone.
So here we go, 2nd and a long 9 for Nottingham, looking to favour the pass in the early stage of today's game. Oh, and there's a false start. And that is Davidas. Although the play is allowed to continue, which would suggest again it's going to be called encroachment. Let's just see if we can see who moved first. So let's see who moves first. The defensive lineman definitely jumps, whether or not he goes into the neutral zone. But it would appear that the fact they let the play run would suggest that it is going to go against Sandwell, because usually if it's a false start, I'll play the play dead.
It'll be interesting to see what they call.
There we go, he's calling encroachment. That was a signal from the sideline, so more free yardage.
Offside. Defence. Number 19. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Davidas a little fortunate there to get away with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have called that the other way, I think. He, as far as I was concerned, the defensive lineman managed to get back into position. So Davidas very lucky to get away with that one.
But we won't complain from a Caesars point of view, as Jones comes in motion, and Johnston does give the ball to Jones, who eludes one tackler. He's on his feet still at the 10. He's at the 5. He turns the corner, and he's into the end zone with no flags for Nottingham's opening score of the afternoon. Pure
Robbie
speed
Jones.
from Robbie Jones.
Now, Jimmy is sat in the commentary booth.
Jimmy Smith is alongside us.
He's done a bit of running back coaching for Robbie, but we all know that was me.
We all know that's neither of you. That's Robbie's pure athleticism and making that first man miss. And I think that was the key.
Those reads off.
Here we go. Watch the key to this is he makes this first man miss there. And once that outside container's gone, he's got enough pace to elude 3 tacklers.
He's a talented runner. The one thing he has got that he always does well is he keeps on running.
He does.
Keeps his head up and just keeps on running.
We've mentioned in previous weeks he doesn't bring a lot of size with him, but he makes up for that with his spirit and with his speed.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very difficult to find a running back, particularly at the junior level, that will just run and carry on
Sorry,
running.
the kick is tipped and it therefore falls short. Will remain our scoreline: Sandwell 7 and Nottingham 6.
Yeah, I mean he just keeps on running, same at junior level. That's what he did, and then stepping up to the Renegades last season even though he is undersized, and often at uni level you've got, I don't want to offend anyone, but often far better athletes, younger bodies that can fly around the field. As Jimmy will rightly say,
Nods
he's
of
still in
approval.
the box. But at senior level you get the size, and you know, sort of 27, 28 is when guys really start to get mature and where they get to. And he's doing really well, and he just keeps running, and that offensive line on those jet sweeps in particular seems to be blocking it very, very well. Although he had to break a block in the backfield there.
He did indeed, and as I mentioned, that initial first tackle often in this game, if you can make that first man miss, opens up opportunities down the field, because that ultimately is the man that was covering you.
If something's blocked well, it should always be one-on-one. If something's blocked really, really well, you should be wide open.
Indeed. So, Danny Johns ready to kick off a real flat kick into the wind, but it's difficult, and actually it may work in the Caesars' favour. Robinson is the first man to pursue, but it depends, and that's a great coverage.
Great tackle.
Beating up on number 55.
2 Steelers.
What did I say?
2 Caesars.
I apologise.
We've had that issue already.
We have. Here's that replay of that kick-off, and again a line driving off, and these you sometimes want the ball to stay high in the air to give your coverage team a chance to get down there, but a ball that bobbles along the floor can be equally difficult to return. As Steve Kilvington returning that ball, number 12.
Yeah, he did well to stay calm under pressure, to be honest. It's often in that situation it can go horribly wrong.
Right, let's see if we can identify this running back, because it's still, as I glance down there.
Now that's an 8, look.
That is an 8.
Number 8 there, that's Steve Kinnersley.
So Steve
Steelers, just lined up his slot.
Indeed. Davidson drops back. He pulls the ball now. He's taking off himself because there was nothing downfield. Good coverage from the Caesars secondary that time.
Much better. Coming to the ball there, 6 or 7 guys getting up there.
Still manages to make positive yardage.
That's an 8, right?
That is
we've
definitely
spotted
an 8.
that. That is an 8. Tweet us in if you think that's an 8.
No, that's definitely an 8 for Kinnersley.
68, right?
Yeah.
When we get a good shot of number 20.
Maybe we might even get a replay that we can freeze frame on. I'm trying to look past Davidson now, because the mystery...
Get out of the way, we don't need a quarterback.
The mystery runner is still blocking on 2nd and 7. And that mystery running back does get the ball and steps again, makes a good first step to elude.
Now let's see when he gets up. And the officials, they don't want us to get this number. No.
That still looks like an 8.
That's a 0.
I'll give you that. It's a 0.
It's a 0.
Right, we're there.
Figured it out. That's James Jones Cross.
And everyone who's screaming at the screen in Sandwell in the Tipton area going...
His father's also in the stands, so...
Okay. But we can confirm. Apologies for, therefore, giving Luke Thompson all the credit on the previous drive.
Sorry, Luke.
I'm sure you'll make some impact on the game later on. On 3rd and 4, as Davison has James Jones Cross behind him. And good pressure from Ash this time, and Ash might still get there and does. But Davidson, a strong boy there at quarterback, not going down. Great defensive stand there, but there is a flag on the far side of the field.
Yeah, quickly followed by Sabella, but this may be an offside decision.
Let's have a look, see if we can spot this.
Just watching Bash go.
Oh, I think you're right. I think it's going to be encroachment again. Bash goes through very quickly, and it is pointed against the Caesars.
So that will be a free first down.
Oh, and that really after holding Sandwell.
Yeah.
Offside. Defence. 5-yard penalty will result in a first down.
And again, this is where the defence is either going to slump or fire up. So we'll see what happens this time.
Taking the wind out of the sails somewhat there, unfortunately.
Having said all this, at this point, very close game.
More evenly matched than some people may well have thought at this stage. 7-6 Sandwell. First down on their own 25-yard line. Davison drops back.
Lawrence.
He's got a man there as well. Ooh, just overthrown.
That is Josh Lawrence.
Coverage by Sam Fisher. Maybe Lawrence had a step on him, but stayed close.
Now, Lawrence looks slow to get up there. He's holding his arm as he got up.
Davison, plenty of time, good mechanics, and
he's just stumbled forward and just landed on his arm awkwardly.
Just rejoining the huddle now, but Davison just saying to Nottingham, look, I've got that vertical threat. Big, powerful arm, set his feet really nicely. Offensive line gave him time, so Hardwick and the Caesars secondary will have to be aware of that. Trips to the right this time for Sandwell as Callum takes the ball, hands off this time to James Cross, who's still on his feet, and he's gone past.
Yeah, good.
In fact, he's gone through every Caesars defender.
Yeah, solid 15-yard game there.
Andrew Wilkins left just watching him from the floor, 15 yards further back where that play originally started. Let's go again, look. So Wilkins goes down there having missed the tackle, and his lineman downfield well as well, blocking beautifully downfield.
Yeah, he's got a very good read. He can read a hole very, very well.
And there wasn't a massive amount of space for him to work with there.
You give him an inch of daylight and he'll make it work for you.
Robert Moore, DC. Definitely number 20, James Jones Cross. Strong running, bud. Yep, we concur, Rob. Thanks for pointing out.
Well, screenplay. That is Sandwell's number 8, Steve Kinnersley there.
Number 8.
That is definitely an 8.
But good lateral defence there by number 41, James Beckett. And in fact, it was Wilkins who was first there. Beckett just runs in for a little bit of glory at the end. But pleasing start to that first down series. Second and a long 9 now for Sandwell. Back to the spread formation with Phil Leader, furthest man away from our commentary position on the top side of the screen. Davidson, 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. James, it's blocked and caught again by Davidson.
Yeah, I think he regretted catching that.
I think he might have done. It might have been better batting that one down, because that will go as an...
Drew Wilkins, Tom Harvey, and number 24 for the Caesars. That's Kieran Matthews getting on that quarterback.
Let's watch that decision again, but having said that, it's a split-second decision. That ball comes back to you, and all you can do immediately is just think, oh, blimey.
Yeah, you know, Wilkins got a pick in a similar situation
last
week, so it's probably the right decision to make.
Indeed.
But,
a great
play. Look at that, Wilkins helping him up.
Well, we said this in pre-game before we went on air. We watched the game against the Bulls from last time we were at Harvey Haddon, and Wilkins, as much as a football player, he's a real polite guy, he's a real nice guy.
But in an odd way, that gets into a quarterback's head.
Yeah, it does.
If you're
Davidson with Davidson with loads of time, and it's broken up by Stephen Brown.
Only just. Yeah.
And a good, strong defensive series there from Nottingham.
Going back to it,
Sorry, let's just watch once again. The interesting thing here, look how much time Davidson's got, but having said that, only rushing 4 men, knowing it's 3rd and long, so trying to make him make a decision, and Stephen Brown there so playing centre field there and just manages to tip that ball away.
And Phil Leader there, number 16 for Sandwell, just couldn't quite concentrate and get that ball in.
So now we have 2 ends of the spectrum back deep for Nottingham. We have the geriatric electrician and the young Robbie Jones.
When your opposing defence is helping your quarterback up, it's not good. You want it to be your team helping him up.
And that ball takes a Caesars bounce as a flag come out. Ball takes a Caesars bounce and pending the flag. Nottingham will start on their 20-yard line pending this flag, and oftentimes when these flags come out and the ball's going that way, it's because a receiving team player has shoved somebody in the back. Here's the call.
During the kick, sideline interference by Nottingham. The ball will be half the distance to the goal, be placed on the 10-yard line, 1st down, Nottingham.
Interesting. Sideline interference would suggest that obviously either one of the players or one of the coaches, it looks like Coach Burnett is putting his hands out as if he was too close, and now Coach Giles is having a word with Coach Burnett about the distance they need to be from the field. Again, a needless 10-yard loss. So from a good defensive series, Nottingham are backed up. Becky, K12, watching Not versus San from Austin, Texas. Go Steelers!
Austin, Texas.
Oh my goodness me,
Sorry.
that was possibly the worst Texan accent
I
I've
didn't
ever
get it quite right. Let's go again.
You were nowhere near.
Can we have that tweet up again?
But it's good to hear from you, Becky. As Johnson starts on 1st and 10 from his own 10-yard line. Robinson takes the ball, and Robinson does make positive yardage this time. And I think what Nottingham are going to try and then he gets out for about a 7-yard gain. advantage of is the fact that this Steelers defense is so aggressive.
Yeah, but you got to get around the edge. If you can't get around that edge and they've got contained, even though they are aggressive, you're not going anywhere but backwards.
Well, we know Robbie can.
Robbie can.
Thanks for that colourful insight. That's what we pay you for.
You don't pay me.
2nd and 4, Nottingham. A good opening possession, though, there. Good opening play as Johnson gives the ball again, but pulls it and then puts a poor pass, really. Poor pass.
I think there was some miscommunication there between Robinson and Dan.
Unfortunately, though, I suppose that is deemed an incomplete pass. Otherwise, that would have been a loss. Although, no, I think they're marching it back, so they're going to say that Robbie actually did catch that. So a loss of 2 on the play, bringing up 3rd and 6. And I think this is what Davidas jogs into the game. Nottingham have struggled with this all season long, consistency. They put the odd good drive together. They put the odd flashy play together.
I mean, the issue is you've now put Davidas on, and everybody knows Davidas from last season. So, they target him. Well, they don't target him, but they'll certainly be wary of him.
Blitz showing from Sandwell, and that linebacker jumps again in the middle of the park as Johnson drops back. And he's got a man. He has got a man here, and that's a beautiful pass and catch.
Molnar.
That is an absolutely beautiful time. Pass and catch. Jamie Molnar runs a lovely pattern away from the safety, out to the sideline, and Johnson does actually put a ball on a rope that time, coming straight towards us, very composed. Again, Johnson definitely making strides from how we've seen in the beginning of the season. He's looking Molnar's way straight away, but that is exactly where that ball needs to be.
Now, interesting, if you look, or if you just caught it in the top right of your screen, there were a number of guys around Davidas.
Yep.
So that frees up some space.
Indeed.
For the rest of your receivers.
Indeed. So we've seen Dan with success down the seam. We've seen him out of the edge now as Robinson finds a little gap and picks up 3 or 4 yards on 1st down again. Nottingham mounting a decent drive this time out. And as you've said, very competitive late in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, it's a better showing. That play, well, the first 2 plays on the drive weren't great, let's put it that way. But again, they've got a big play. They've got to use it to spark them and hopefully drive down the field.
So, 2nd and 7, Nottingham on their own 30-yard line, just inside. Dan with 2 receivers top and bottom. Robinson again with the ball, and they're liking the fact that interior defensive line for Sandwell seems to be softening a little.
It seems softer than I was expecting, certainly. 3rd and 5 now, so we'll see what they bring out.
See that again. So there's a Harvey there. It's Tom Harvey and his colleague. I didn't catch the number, unfortunately, but managed to make a nice gap, and Robinson doesn't have to break stride. He just accelerates straight up the middle for a pickup of 4. So 3rd and a manageable 3 yards. Big play coming up here as that Steelers defensive line looks to jump
aggressive
again. Johnson this time looks for Davidas, and Davidas has caught that ball. And he jumps through one tackle. Oh dear, and it looked like that ankle maybe turned at the end. I don't know. He's getting but nicely done. Davidas points the way for a 1st down.
Yeah, and that's what he brings, but he's not quite 100%.
No.
That's what he brings.
Because you'll see here, we haven't got that speed we're used to, but he's got such big hands, and that ball wasn't overly accurate from Johnson. But Davidas snags it very well on the turn and then jumps out to one tackle. Just thought his ankle. Ooh.
Yeah, but again, you look how many guys are around him. There's 3 guys in his vicinity.
Yep.
It wasn't quite triple coverage, but they're aware of him.
As we hit the end of the 1st quarter, and a very competitive 1st quarter with our score here, Sandwell 7 and Nottingham 6.
Yeah, that surprised me. It really has. I thought after the scores we've seen Sandwell put up and against all the teams we've played so far, I was expecting a little more from them. But Caesars certainly holding their own. Well,
and equally, I mean, after that very inauspicious start with that penalty for illegal procedure on the very first play of the game, you think to yourself, the writing's on the wall here, but Nottingham, it's not like they've been holding on.
No, interestingly, I'm not going to try a Florida accent.
No, I wouldn't either, but hello Cowboys fans, 1122, diehard football fan here, watching from Lakeland, Florida. Go Caesars from our pal Grant. Thanks for the link. We assume that's our defensive coordinator.
No, he's down on the field. I can see him from here.
No, for Grant, it said.
Oh, right. So, very well today.
We're not actually, are we? Anyway, so Nottingham will continue their drive. Interesting, the down marker on the far side there says That's better. It says first down. There we go. Getting the chains in the right place now. But nice to know already this afternoon we have viewers in Austin, Texas. We have viewers in Lakeland, Florida. We'd love you to get in touch with us and tell us where you're watching, even if it's just from Woollerton, 5 minutes down the road. As Jones comes in motion again, fake the jet sweep this time, and Rob, and he's got his man, and Jamie Molnar. Jamie Molnar goes in for Nottingham's second score. And again, another fantastic pass from Johnson.
Yeah, you know, I think
here it is. Sorry, George. He fakes that handoff. He then drops back, steps up, hits Molnar in stride, and Molnar runs away from Chowdhury. The Sandwell DB, no flags on the play, and Nottingham.
I think it actually surprised Molnar that the ball was there. But, you know, he did well, great grab, and it was a pinpoint throw.
I tell you what, Sandwell have seen Robbie take the ball in a jet sweep. They've seen Robbie in the middle. We know they're an aggressive front. There are obviously going to be gaps there in the secondary, and again, he's hit between the seam there, between those two safeties, and Dan's put the ball where it needs to be. And all too often in the past, we've seen Dan have those opportunities, an overthrow or underthrow.
Yeah. You know, I don't quite know what to make of this Caesars team this year. They've been sluggish and slow on offence for the last 5 games. All of a sudden, they come out against Sandwell, and I mean, look. Now that was a pick. Having said that, you know, it was a 12-point conversion play. They've got the touchdown. He didn't really have anywhere else to throw.
Again, though, Dan looks to the left immediately. He wants Davidas all the way there, and that ball, unfortunately, is just underthrown. With Davidas' height advantage over that DB, he's got to put it up and give Davidas a bit more of a chance than that.
But everyone was covered. He didn't really have a place to go with it. It's a 2-point conversion. Be happy with the drive they've just had. But there's something sparked in this offense today.
Absolutely.
So we'll just see what they can carry on and see if they can keep doing what they're doing.
So, even though we are Caesars TV, I must say I'm a little surprised at the current score, and I'm a little surprised at how well Nottingham are playing, and still in patches. There's still inconsistencies across the board.
Yeah.
But Johnson making some good decisions today, and it's good to see his confidence up. He's got his players around him, rallying around him. Offensive line giving him decent amount of time to pass as well.
Yeah, we'll see if Sam will adjust in the rest of the game.
So John's ready to kick off again. Checks left side, checks right side with that kick coverage team. And this time does put a much better kick up. And that ball sails over the top of the two returners for Sandwell to the end zone, where the Steelers will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Let's see what the Steelers bring out this time.
Try and keep you updated if we can with scores from around the country, courtesy of our friends at Double Coverage. Having said that, just trying to find a link there for us.
See what the Steelers' offense come out with this time.
Well,
once again in that spread formation.
One score that I will mention that I know you'll be very interested in, the under-19 Manchester Titans, who you guys were victorious over a couple of weeks back, have beaten the Lincolnshire Bombers by a score of 49-0 today.
That's impressive.
It is impressive.
We put 12 points on Lincoln, so you know, Manchester, another formidable offence in the under-19s league.
Indeed. Having said that, that was your first game of the year. A bit rusty, first game of the season.
It was, and Lincoln were a good outfit.
They were.
And I'm a little bit surprised they've allowed that score, but Manchester a different offence to the style we play. Whilst they didn't put any points against us, they are arguably the strongest offence in the Northern Conference.
Indeed.
And I was a little bit surprised we shut them out, to be honest. But
so second down, after a pickup of 6 on first down, but snagged well by 3 Caesars, including Stephen Brown, number 6.
Yeah, there's good work there by the Caesars defence, but it did look again like a little bit of miscommunication between the running back and the quarterback.
It did. Yeah, a bit jittery there. But nevertheless, Steelers defence hanging in there as the cloud comes over Harvey Haddon a little. Rob CLC, watching from Wolverhampton. Great watching Midlands football. It's great to have you with us, Rob. Thanks for supporting both the Steelers, the Caesars, and Caesars TV on 3rd and 4. As Davison drops back to pass, he's got a man over
that's
the
Josh
middle.
Lawrence there.
And Bash meets him after a pickup of 7 yards and into the stand. And as a receiver, they're always the balls that you know you're going to catch and you're going to get punished for. Those slants over the middle.
You know, usually it's one-on-one tackles, and they tend to make them, but definitely better team defense all round.
So, 2nd and 7 upcoming. Second and 7. Gone a bit of a lull. And I must say, looking across the stands, there's a spattering of people down at Harvey.
I think most of them are actually Sandwell fans.
We did Notts Varsity a few weeks back, and obviously the crowd was absolutely wall to wall. There's not a spare seat in the house. As Davison drops back to pass, looks for his man across the seam. Oh!
Now that's one you've got to catch, but again, Lawrence looking a little bit slow to get up, and I think that arm's starting to hurt.
He doesn't overly seem convinced and be playing with a massive amount of conviction through there. Just want to apologise at the moment for a few technical issues we're having up here in the booth with the stream. Sorry if you lost any of the coverage from us in the last couple of minutes. So here we go, 3rd and 6. Another big play for the Nottingham defence if they can hold out here and get that ball back and continue the good work from their previous couple of offences. As Wilkins comes on a blitz, picked up well, but Davison gets the ball away and he completes the pass.
Grab there. That's number 8 again for
Steve
Sandwell.
Kinnersley again on the far sideline, and Wilkins does put the pressure on Davison, but Davison manages to stay strong, deliver the ball, and pick up enough for the first down for Sandwell.
Yeah, nice touchline grab.
Here we go again. You can see Wilkins coming in here from the bottom of the screen. Times his blitz well, but picked up well by the halfback, and a nice sideline ball out there to Kinnersley for the first down.
Steelers certainly have the offensive weapons to get this game back in, but Caesars defense still holding strong.
Indeed.
Seem to be allowing a little bit more in the passing game this week, though.
So first down, Davison hands off up the middle to
and again,
Jones
just
cross
back there by a pile of Caesars.
Tom Harvey amongst them. Matthews comes up with the ball, but still signalled.
The whistle was blown.
The whistle was gone. It was blown, and they're never going to overturn that. Officials aren't when the whistle has gone. To see if we can see it all when that ball comes out. So again, met initially by Wilkins, Harvey in there as well, and that whistle's gone there, and then the ball's ripped out. You saw right at the end of the play.
Tom Harvey, another product of the Caesars Juniors.
Indeed, looks like he's eaten 3 of the Caesars Juniors.
He might well have done. It's nice to see this year in particular that we've had a few Caesars Juniors step up and actually come back from uni and play for the team.
Don't think we mentioned it before the game. I think we were getting a bit complacent ourselves, but George is the current head coach of the Caesars Juniors.
Never mention it.
We didn't at the beginning. No, we never mentioned it. Oh, sorry to interrupt
Cal's
myself.
Done well to
he has escaped well, and
he's got the catch. That's looks like Josh Lawrence again
with
the grab.
Just short of the first down. So yes,
and that's what Cal brings. He's a very, very good quarterback. There.
And what you see him do, he draws the man. He draws Wilkins in. He knows he's coming.
He knew.
Yep. And throwing on the run, running to his left, a right-handed quarterback running to his left, throwing on the run across his body, accurate pass, picks up 9 yards.
He is one of the technically one of the best quarterbacks in the country at the
moment. I think
he's young and he's got a long way to go.
That's an accurate statement right there. So 3rd and 1. You'd expect this to be a run. 2 running backs in the backfield this time for Sandwell. So you'd expect them to power this up the middle, which they do. Jones cross, and that's on it. And actually, and he is.
Baby Bash there.
Kieran
really
Matthews.
Good outside containment from
Matthews, but Tom Harvey there again.
Yeah, boy just likes to hit people.
I'm being impressed. You've seen starting at nose tackle there with the white helmet on, and he fights his way through the line, and Bash makes the initial hit.
I think what's more impressive is he's actually playing both ways.
Yeah, playing offensive line as well.
And he's still there.
And here he goes, comes to get a breather to the sideline. And then he's sent back. So 4th and 3. Now, interesting.
He's another talented player that he could potentially go quite far.
Potentially, and potentially this is using the word potentially. Today's game sponsored by the word potentially. This is a real big moment in the game.
Yeah.
Timeout, Nottingham.
And I think Nottingham realised that because the offence stayed on there for Sandwell.
Could well be going for the 4th down, yeah.
Offence stayed on there well for Sandwell, and if Nottingham can shut the door again on this 4th down play, then not only have they got momentum from a defensive point of view, but they're in pretty good field position for their offence.
Just going back to Harvey, he's just played his first year at uni with the Derby Braves, who beat the Lions in the quarterfinal. Yeah,
top flight uni team.
He's actually moving universities this year to the NTU Renegades.
Is
so
he?
he'll be playing alongside former teammate Robbie Jones.
Wow.
I suspect on the offensive line, but looking at how he's playing on defence, Coach Wilkinshaw might try and steal it for there as well.
I assume I'm not going to say that name, but CHLXELXU watching from Wolverhampton, another one from the West Midlands. Come on, Steelers, good to have you on board. Hashtag Steeler family. Come on, where are all the Nottingham people? Where are all the Nottingham people watching?
In the stand.
Yeah,
right here.
I'm hoping there's more than 15 Nottingham people watching this game.
So yeah, Sandwell are one of the few teams in the country that get a very, very good travelling crowd.
They do.
Which is really nice to see for the British game.
We've got a man here, a guy down to our right who's...
Man's made a flag.
Yeah, we've got a flag, got a Steelers flag down to the right. Not been waving it much yet at the moment, but here we go then. Big fourth down in this particular game. Midway through the second period, Davison drops and rolls to his right, and he could be looking to take off with him, and he has taken off with it.
That was smart play. Really smart play, taking that slide.
Slides down in front of number 47, Jason Potter for Nottingham. And you can see the outside contain there, just lost. Number 56 for the Caesars, Mike Thompson, just crashing down on that end, that defensive end position.
Interestingly, the defensive penetration on the Sandwell offensive line is very, very good. Cal is doing really well with what he's got and what he's got in front of him to make that yardage. But whilst it's great to have penetration, you've got to keep that containment.
1st and 10. Callum with a man out there, and he's got loads of time.
That's number 8,
Kinnelly, and Kinnelly tackled at the 5-yard line.
And again,
Sam Fisher with the tackle.
You know, given time, pinpoint. Well, even when he's not given time, he's got a pinpoint pass. Coverage has got to tighten up.
So, 1st and goal, Sandwell inside the Nottingham 5-yard line.
Sandwell coming out in spread, 2 left, 2 right this time. James Jones crossed it in the backfield. And they have given it straight up the middle.
And he steps.
But again, Caesars defence holding strong.
Just, he's made a big mash in the middle, but he did manage to make yardage even when running into the back of those Caesars. Oh, sorry, the back of the Sandwell offensive line. I think they're giving him maybe a pickup of 2, so it's 2nd and goal from the Nottingham 2-yard line.
Yeah, round, well. It's getting closer, we'll see if they can punch it in.
Yeah, as we were saying, in fact, I'll save that for later when we've got a bit more of a gap. So, good response from the Sandwell offence, driving the length of the field. They picked the ball up on the 20-yard line after the Caesars kick-off, and Danny Johns kicked the ball through the end zone, and now John Davidson finds himself on the 2-yard line. Hands off this time. He doesn't. Pulls the ball, keeps it, and he's
taken a big hit, but he has got the score.
Stephen Brown delivers the blow.
Touchdown.
Stephen Brown delivers the blow, but that puts Sandwell ahead by 1 point with the extras to come. It's 13-12 currently for Sandwell. You can't say they haven't deserved that, as you see.
No,
again.
It's a really well executed drive.
And unfortunately, Bash bit.
He did.
Bash bit on that one.
But
good read option play.
Callum Davidson there showing his speed from the quarterback position.
As the kick is up.
He's not afraid to run into contact either.
Kick is up. Good. Which puts our score at Sandwell 14, Nottingham 12, but still a very competitive ball game here.
It is, and it'll be interesting to see what happens for the rest of this game and how both teams decide to play it from here on out.
So, you mentioned earlier on, you're our current junior head coach. I'm previous to that and managed to set up that squad way back 10 years ago now it is. And the aim, obviously, with any junior setup is to get a flow of players coming through the ranks, juniors to seniors. But unfortunately, the way that things work and with the kind of guys we get, more often than not, you find them disappearing off to university. And
yeah, you know, I think more and more teams, or more and more universities are getting football teams, and with that, coaches from the local area coming in, and of course, for 3 years, players might stay in that area. They might not come home over summer.
Yep.
Robbie and Harvey, who are playing out there today, one lives out Derby way anyway, and one lives in Nottingham, so they're fairly close.
Yep.
But you know, you send guys down to Birmingham, or you send guys down to London, and they tend to stay in the area.
Alex Mackenzie-Grist then with the kick-off, and it's a good kick into the wind, held up a little bit. Rob Hardwick lets it bounce, and interesting decision that, but he does pick the ball up, and then he steps through one player, and he's still on his feet, gets out to the 15-yard line, call it the 16 when Nottingham will take over.
Yeah, not a great spot. Hardwick looking a little bit. Is that Hardwick looking slow to get up?
It is. I think it might be.
Now that will be a worry if it is Hardwick.
The electrician might have blown a fuse.
No, it is number 69 for the Caesars. That is Chris Hutchinson looking a bit slow.
Here's our man, DJ Steve Matthews. DJ Steve Matthews on his way back
Who's
from.
Steve Matthews?
He's a DJ.
I know he's a DJ, but I don't recognise the name. I'm not sure where he's
I think
from.
he's unemployed. Is what he is now. I don't think might have more time off. The at We Are Onside guys smashing the coverage today. Hashtag We Are Onside. Hashtag Boss needs more holidays.
Can we get a Google search? I don't know who Steve Matthews is. I've never heard of him.
See if you can get an image at all, so we can see who this guy is.
I mean, I don't know who he is or where he's come from, but he's trying to take credit for something he's not. I bet he doesn't even live in Nottingham.
Did he used to play? I think he used to play.
I don't know. I don't know his name.
He used to put kit on.
Was he the kit man?
He might have been the kit man. He might have been.
The water boy. Jimmy said he's the water boy.
Right, okay.
Thank you for confirming that, Jimmy.
But I think he dropped the water though, did he?
Oh,
he had trouble holding on to the water.
He tipped the barrel over. That's the man. That's the man.
So, after that brief commercial interlude, Nottingham will begin their next possession as Johnson hands the ball off to Robinson, and Robin, in fact, doesn't. Oh,
that's
Robbie's
got to be a PI call.
That is surely pass interference. Robbie was absolutely sandwiched.
Well, big hit, and I think he's hurt.
He may have had the wind knocked out of him. He's limping a little bit. But we have got a replay on that. Let's watch. You tell me, does a defender get to Robbie before the ball does?
Yes.
Definitely. Every single day.
No, that's a questionable call.
I tell you what, though, good play action again.
It was very nice play action. Having said that, the safety sat back there, and regardless of whether Robbie, it was early or not,
they were in position.
They were in position.
So 2nd and 10. Twins left, twins right with Robbie out, and he hits. Oh, he's looking for Davidas on the seat.
Interestingly, on the corner route, number 82 for Caesars, Sam Kinley was open.
Wide open. But to be fair,
this is often the issue that the Caesars quarterback come against or find themselves in, is they target Davidas. And the league knows this, and this is perhaps why their offense crumbled more so in the second half of last season than it should have done.
I must say though, Davidas was open.
He was.
He'd got the slant route.
It wasn't a bad read, but Kinley was.
And the way that particularly look, the way that those DBs, number 21 for Sandwell, Pete Roden here, and particularly the slot coverage. He's going up top for Davidas again.
Into double coverage. And
almost.
That is a pick. He has got that.
That is intercepted.
Corner route underneath, Sam Kinley
wide open again. Because Davidas attracted the double coverage.
Yeah. But you've got to use that to your advantage.
Absolutely.
You've got to use that to your advantage.
And that could be a big turning point here today.
And you know full well that that Stuart Andrews, the DC there, if Davidas comes on that field, everybody knows to target him. That's the best guy. That's one of the best receivers in the conference.
Great concentration there by number 21, Pete Roden, to not only break the pass up, but then juggle the pass.
Yeah, it was an impressive just before it hit the ground.
And then, falling to the ground and making the grab.
But Caesars need to be careful of that now. If they.
I believe we found Steve Matthews.
Who?
Is that him?
I don't know. Is that Steve Matthews?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's your boy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Anyway, joking aside, Steve's been working away in London this weekend, and as I mentioned earlier on, Tom Howe has stepped up and produced the goods and has done really well, as Davison has all sorts of time.
Again.
Same pattern, the out pattern, deep out pattern.
Kinnersley, they're not picking that up. That's 3-4 times they've hit him on that route.
And that time as well, as you can see here, Davison has no end of time. He's got all sorts of time. Really good downfield blocking as well. Great pass again on the money. Hit Kinnersley in stride. And he's wide open there. Beckett makes the tackle.
Makes the final tackle.
But again,
Tom Harvey.
Ball.
See it bobble there.
And the ball was out.
I wonder whether they've called it knee down. Difficult to tell in a pile up like that. Ash arguing his case.
Let's see if we can see that one more time at all while they're conferring. Like you say, Wilkins gets his hand on the shoulder and the ball comes out there.
His knee was down.
His knee was down.
It was a good call by the officials there.
Does very well to stick with it. But a good comeback from Nottingham. 2nd and 10. Davidson looking. He's got a man there, isn't it? Oh, that's an easy score. And he's caught the ball.
Nearly dropped it. Yeah, number 23 there with the grab
Over Jason Potter, and whether or not that was a blown coverage or whether the zone defense just broke down there.
I suspect that was most certainly a blown coverage. You can't have a receiver that wide open.
Because Potter just lets him go by, and then Stephen Brown's not in the position where you'd expect that safety to be for a zone scheme of that type. So Sandwell with 2 quick scores go up by a score of 21 to 12.
Now you're the head coach.
Indeed,
I am
have.
a head coach.
Indeed, you are.
You've had a great first quarter.
Indeed,
and
we
a
have.
Good first half to the second quarter. You're now down 21-12, and they're starting to look like they're beating up on you a bit. What do you say to get your guys pumped up?
You've got to go back to basics, and you've got to basically say to your team, look, we've scored 12 points. We've been toe-to-toe with these guys. We can run the ball on them. We can pass the ball on them. We've stopped them. We just got to keep going back on each and every play, concentrating on your role on every single play. Ignore the 21-12 scoreline. See it as a 0-0 game, one play at a time, and execute. And then in this game, execution is fundamental. What's going to make you successful?
Yeah,
so
we know we can do it.
Yep. So don't be looking sort of a quarter down the line. You're looking at one play at a time, and that's where you gain your consistency from as well.
Yeah, and Caesars have shown they can do it, so they've just got to.
And they've equally shown they can do it from a variety of weapons, whether it's Robbie Jones on that jet sweep or through the air. Jamie Molnar's been effective. Dan with his arms been effective. Robinson not broken anything yet, but he's picked up chunks of 4 or 5 yards at a time. So don't get away from what's working, basically. And I suppose, those last couple of plays, Dan's got to make better reads and not just assume that Davidaz is going to get them out of trouble. And that could be going out of bounds. And would you believe it does? It finishes on the whitewash. It finished on the whitewash, and Rob Hardwick, I think, really pleased. He saw the official throw that flag, which will be an illegal procedure penalty. And Nottingham will take over on their 40-yard line. But wow, here we go. Look how close this is. Watch. The camera work was a little off there, but
cameraman felt that. Forgot the ball was an important part of football.
No, come on, listen. Our cameraman's done a fantastic job so far in the game. It's not fair to call his name out just when he gets something wrong. All right?
He likes that girder as well. No, he does a good job.
So, just discussing with the Nottingham sideline after the illegal procedure penalty against Sandwell on the kickoff. A little unfortunate, it must be said.
Yeah, an inch.
Illegal procedure on the kicking team. Free kick out of bounds, untouched. Nottingham will take the 30-yard option, first down.
An inch the other side, and that would have been a perfect kick.
So here we go then. Nottingham giving a bit of a lifeline here.
Robbie Jones back on the field after that knock he took in that last drive.
1st and 10 on Nottingham 30. Dan handles a wild snap, and Dobson takes the ball. New running back, Daniel Dobson. He's still on his feet. Good, powerful runner. Big, strong, powerful legs on Dobson. And that's the key to any running back. Even when you're in traffic, keep those legs pounding.
Yeah, he just keeps running. This is an interesting part of the Caesars offense, is that rotation of running backs that they have between Daniel Dobson and
John Holmes and Jason Robinson. Yep.
Former England international fullback.
Indeed. Who's been reborn here in the burgundy and gold. 2nd and 6. Johnson drops back to pass. Oh, he holds on to it.
Now, that was interesting.
He had Robbie on the sideline and then pulled the ball back, whether or not he thought better of it, because the man who picked the ball off, Pete Roden, was in quite close coverage.
Davidas wasn't in a bad spot, and Dan had time. Dobson got a nice block just to kill that man coming around the edge. But
realistically, what Nottingham can't afford now is a 3 and out.
No. So, you've got 8 yards to go, 7-8 yards to go. It's 3rd down. You've got to do something.
Big play, 3rd and 6 then for Nottingham. Deep into the second quarter here at Harvey Haddon with a score of 21-12 to the Steelers. Johnson drops back. He's under pressure.
Well.
He's put that ball up there, and that was more hopeful than anything because it was double coverage. under a lot of pressure, and Nottingham will be kicking that ball away, but at least they will have the wind to try and pin the Steelers back.
Molnar was open on the far sideline there. Nice little out route. But again, it does seem that Dan's already chosen to target Davidas before the plays even
Indeed
start.
it does.
And that's a dangerous game, as you can see how tight they are on Davidas, because they know he's a real threat.
So here we go, 4th down. It looks like our man Jones Cross back deep. Johns with the punt, and he puts a high one up, and it's going to get caught up in the wind a little and takes a Sandwell bounce where it's fielded by Wilkins at the Sandwell 29-yard line. That looks like that. Obviously that's the marker for the ball that the official throws down, so Sandwell will take over on their own 29-yard line, looking to add to the score. So no flag, as both Jimmy and I thought we saw fly out. So apologies for the graphic on screen there, and over eager scoreman Mr. James Smith.
First time onside production.
And the last. Good to see him smiling though.
Honey Badgers must have won.
Did the Honey Badgers win?
Oh, right.
They didn't play. Okay. Honey Badgers are one of our local flag football teams, the Mansfield Honey Badgers. That
yeah, so if you are wanting to get involved, not sure on the contact
yeah,
side of things,
there are options.
They're a welcoming group of people, so I'm sure they'll happily take them on, have a look.
And his head, but it's only fair to mention that there's the Nottingham Bears, local. They're also an adult flag team as well, and as much as say we have maybe a stronger link to the Honey Badgers with a number of ex-Caesars players and coaches who cut up occasionally for them. There are other flag options out there.
But if you do want to get involved, I'm sure both teams would be welcome to take you on.
Just being told that John Holmes, our receiver come punter come kickoff specialist, is a Honey Badger himself, as Bash. He's a beast and bear, my apologies. So John Holmes is a beast and bear as a flag comes out.
He's also the running back. You're thinking of Danny Johns.
I'm thinking of Danny Johns. I'm all over the place today.
Losing it.
I'm all over the place.
Old age.
So flag, looking like it may well be against Sandwell.
Personal foul, offence, chop block, 15-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Now for those people that haven't watched the game before, explain the chalk block.
Chalk block?
The chalk block.
Do you want me to explain a chalk block or a chop block?
Explain it.
A chop block basically is an illegal block below the waist which targets another player's knees, and more often than not it's called when two defenders or two blockers hit a
high-low.
Yeah, hit another player at the same time, one taking them high and one taking them low. But the reason it's been outlawed is basically because it does severe damage to the lower portion of the player it's carried out on, basically. Was that sufficiently explained?
That was well explained. You are a teacher. You're supposed to be pretty good at explaining things.
We try on 2nd and a mile,
Wilkins
and it's
with the pressure,
and there's another flag, and that's going to be. I think that's going to be roughing the passer.
Yeah, whether it's going to be a late hit.
He's holding his hands up. Wilkins is. I don't know if we've got a replay on that at all. We haven't got a replay on that. So all the big plays so far, our executive producer for the day is missing, but he'll bring you all the point after.
Personal foul, 22 of the defence, roughing the passer, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
So there it is, Andrew Wilkins roughing the passer there. So the 15 yards given straight back to Sandwell that they gave up.
It was a close call. I thought he just about hit it clean, but the officials down there, and the officials obviously closer to it than we are, and they deem it to be a late hit.
So basically, it's deja vu all over again. Those last two plays needn't have happened. We went from 2nd and 10 to 2nd and 25, back to 2nd and 10 on two 15-yard personal foul penalties. And the blitz shows this time, and the ball's handed up. And I tell you what, Davidson did a real good job of selling that to his head as well.
Yeah, he did. Making a few yards up the middle there.
If we watch there this time, he looks like he's handing the ball off to his right, and actually just gives the ball to the inside runner, but it's covered very well by that interior defence. It's number 7, Lee French, with the carry. Oh, and there's a flag.
Maybe the 2-minute warning.
Oh, I don't know, because they don't usually throw a yellow flag for the 2-minute warning.
Sometimes they do. Depends if he's new.
Let's see what this is going to be.
Oh no,
12 men on the field. 12 men in the huddle. He's looking Nottingham's way. Some sort of procedure penalty, I'm sure. There are only 11 men on the field, definitely.
I can't count 12, but
unless it's something, he's come from the Caesars sideline, so whether or not something again was said.
You know, you're allowed 12 men on the field for defence until the huddle's broken.
You are,
so
yeah.
You know.
You are.
So it'll be interesting to see what's.
Talking to Ash, and Ash sort of puts his head to one side and then walks away with his head hanging.
What's Lard said now?
It will be something. I think it's something that way. I think it's something from the sideline again, and out goes Coach Bosley.
What's Bosley said
when
now?
Coach Bosley goes out there, you know, hands on hips, you know that things aren't going well. And Coach Giles is going for a walkout as well, just to quash the situation. I think Coach Giles.
You should maybe just start a bad lip reading.
You know, bad lip sync. Caesar's bad lip sync. There's a future in that.
My name's Adie. No, Barry's right.
If Steve Matthews is out there on his way home still watching and listening, there's something for future games. Bad lip syncing. At the moment, though, we can't see the referee's lips, so that won't work very well because Barry's head's in the way.
Barry likes to ruin my games, I'm sure.
For those of you, again, not from the Nottingham area or not knowledgeable about football in these parts, Coach Bosley there, who's on your screen currently walking away, is the founder of the Nottingham Caesars, and the flag's been waved off now.
But it'd be interesting to know what the original flag was for.
It would, but Coach Bosley is obviously.
I suspect somebody said something to the official.
Yeah, and I would have thought that Coach Bosley has threatened him with some sort of pain, and therefore the flag is gone. No, I'm only joking. But no, Coach Bosley, 1984, the Caesars were originally formed as a junior team, and he's been at the helm ever since then for 33 years now. As the
big gap up the middle there.
Good pick up on second down. So
yeah, it'd be interesting to know what that penalty was for, but what the flag was for. I suspect one of the coaches had said something in the heat of the moment.
I would have thought that is more than likely the explanation.
It does happen.
There's that run again. Similar run to the one previously, and just ghosts his way up the middle. And
again, give him an inch and he'll make a few yards for you.
Well, as we mentioned about the interior D-line of the Steelers softening earlier on, it appears that the Nottingham D-line has gone much the same way. Another big play coming up, 3rd and 2 for Sandwell. Late in the second period here. Ball handed off again, and there's that gap.
French there.
And Lee French
has got the first.
And Lee French appears to be back on this series. Enough for the first down.
That's an injury timeout.
Sandwell currently ahead by 9. Here we go again. Charlie Fox. I'm going to say that's Charlie, even though there's an X in the middle. Let's go Steelers. Birmingham Lions Junior playing junior player watching from Dudley.
I'm not going to try Dudley accent either. That could go horrendously wrong.
Hashtag Steelers Familia. Nice to have you on board, Charlie, or Chick-Sarlie, or...
What is this Spanish-Mexican theme that the Steelers have got going on?
Familia? Yeah. Should we mention Pedro?
If you want to. If you
Tom,
want to...
have we got a picture of Pedro? Find a picture of Pedro for us. We're during this injury timeout. In fact, there's a couple on Slack you could use of Pedro.
Let's use a proper Pedro image.
We use Pedro in his playing days as well.
No, let's not. Let's not edit a sombrero. No, Tom, no.
Unfortunately, getting back to things here, this looks like could be a bit of a...
Yeah, he looks like he went down awkwardly on his leg.
Maybe I didn't get a number, unfortunately, at this stage.
It was number 7, I thought. It was Lee French, the runner.
Okay. Who
at least one of us is watching the game.
Been making some good gains. Right, try and see if we can get any updates for you during this injury timeout. Try and hook up here with DC.
No.
The boys at DC.
Number 56 for the Steelers. Maybe I wasn't watching as close as I thought. Stuart Smith, but he is walking off, so that's always a good sign.
Very quick to criticise, George, aren't you?
Oh, at least I try. No, it is number 56, Stuart Smith. I suspect he's just gone down in the pile. taking the shot to the leg.
So Stuart Smith there, reliably informed by James Smith, another ex-Renegade.
You said Stuart Smith 3 times.
Stuart Smith.
Stuart Smith.
Getting some airtime.
Smith Stewart, as you'd read on the register.
Chorley Buccaneers, East Kilbride Pirates under 19. 20-0 to Chorley.
Really?
As Davison goes down the field and he's got a man, it's picked by Stephen Brown. Athletic interception there, reaching back to his head. Picked by Stephen Brown. Good change of momentum there, and it looks like we've got a... Here we go. That ball is up in the air, maybe a bit ill-advised. Davison getting very confident and maybe a little too confident. And Nottingham offence have a little life in this first half going into the break. London Warriors currently leading 14-0 over the Farnham Knights. We know it's 21-12 here. Leicester and Birmingham playing today. I'm not sure how up-to-date that score is, but it's currently, it says 0-0. Leicester and Birmingham in the first quarter. As Johnson takes over just inside his 20-yard line on this latest Caesars possession. Hands the ball off to Dobson, and Dobson's got space. Oh, and Dobson, the ball comes out. And that's going to be claimed, I think, by Sandwell. Although no signal yet. No signal. But that ball definitely came out before Dobson hit the ground, and I think he's managed to recover that ball. Let's see, I'm wondering what the call is. Oh, apologies, we're looking. Just had a confirmation from double coverage about that East Kilbride Chorley score. It was 20-0. It was 20-0 East Kilbride. So for whatever reason, that score's been input incorrectly. Thanks to Nick up at double coverage.
Having said that, that's still a very, very close score.
It is. Johnson again to Dobson. Dobson, in fact, another beautiful fake and just out of the reach of Robbie Jones. But again, the play action working very nicely, both down on the field and also foxing us as commentators. And he did. Robbie had a step on his man, and Johnson did just overthrow him that time. Brings up 3rd and 4. Third and 4 Nottingham. Score still 21-12 in favour of the visiting Sandwell Steelers. Manchester Titans 7-0 ahead of the Yorkshire Rams in the second quarter. We do have some updated scores now as Johnson surveys the field. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Drops back, steps up into the pocket, goes deep again. He's got his man in. Oh! Molnar. Jamie Molnar had his man on the corner. It was a good pass that time, and just lets it slip through his fingers. Oxford Saints 20-0 ahead of the Solent Thrashers. Shropshire Revolution 20-0 ahead of the Lincolnshire Bombers in the second quarter. Gateshead Senators now beating Carlisle 52-0. Other selected scores: the Bournemouth Bobcats 20-0 ahead of the Maidstone Pumas. Doncaster Mustangs and the West Coast Trojans currently at 0-0. Still a first quarter score, so may well need updating as Johns is going to punt again. The wind still behind the Nottingham offence, so hopefully get some good distance on this one. It's a good snap this time. Johns puts his foot through it, gets high in the air.
Much better punt.
And it does take a good Caesars bounce, and it's still rolling, turns the corner, and is down at the 25-yard line of Sandwell.
Yeah, much better punt there for Danny Johns. Nice high kick, allowing his coverage team to get down. Well, it's a nice picture of Pedro.
There's Pedro. To be fair, we caught Pedro on his best side there.
My backside.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought we were going for the Facebook profile picture.
With your quarterback.
It's a good one. Yes, I would. We might possibly have, don't want to call it early, but we may have a general election coming up again soon. So I'd like to use this chance to plug.
Can you tell us, just highlight some of your policies, please, Pedro? That's brilliant. Well, that right there,
Well,
you've got my vote.
I don't want to give too much away because when everybody else releases their you
don't want people copying.
I don't want people copying.
Okay, as Davidson on first down, drops back and he's under pressure, and Matthews is with him there still, and Matthews does get the sack.
The one-knee linebacker.
Wilkins came in from the right-hand side of the Caesars D. Baby Bash, Kieran Matthews from the left-hand side. You'll probably know this more than me. Out on the Caesars defense at the moment, obviously number 24, Kieran Matthews, number 31, Ashley Matthews, both brothers, Ash being the older one.
Familiar.
Familiar. Nickname Bash just because of Ash and because of the way he hits? Or
do you know what? I don't know.
Anybody? Looking around, no one's really sure.
Jimmy's smirking. I suspect it's a rude reason.
Davidson hands the ball off, and we think. Let's have a look. That's it's number 20 again. Jones Cross back in the backfield. Jones Cross there. You can see just straight taking the ball from under centre that time. Davidson in an unusual adjustment to the normal procedure.
Yeah, no, as Jimmy's smirking, I suspect it is a rude reason
as
to why.
We won't pursue that one anymore. Another big play coming up from the Caesars defense, 3rd and 8. Davidson drops back to pass, and
good
that
pressure.
Wilkins, he stops, he drops, and he throws away. Good again.
Good pressure, but it was smart quarterback. He didn't try and force anything upfield and got it out of bounds.
Watching Davidson walking off now, he's got a little bit of a limp on that left ankle. But he does, and I tell you what he does well is he takes what that Caesars defense gives him. He rolls out of trouble, doesn't stay in the pocket too long, keeps his eyes downfield, and then obviously I think he looked as though he threw that ball away just to keep things safe. But a good defensive stand again, keeping this game close. 21-12, still in the second period. And to be fair, George, it's 2:45 now, and this first half has gone on as Hardwick fields the ball well, stutters a little. Then looks to try. Oh, and he is tripped.
There is a player on the floor. It's like Wilkins is.
It does.
Yeah, there is an injury on the field.
There's a Steeler down just around midfield, and just inside the Steeler 40-yard line.
There we go. Vote for Pedro.
So for all of you, who maybe didn't catch the start of the broadcast or aren't familiar with the guy in the sombrero, is my co-commentator, head coach of the Nottingham Caesars Juniors, pictured there alongside with his quarterback, the athletic Tom Henley.
Can we have that for the replay, like wipe over? Let's plug it. In fairness, I did wear that because I couldn't find my baseball cap. And it was very, very sunny. And as you well know...
You're very fair.
I'm very fair, and I burn.
You do burn.
If I wear a sombrero, I won't burn. I still managed to burn, so clearly didn't work.
Kids, sun safety is important. Vote for Pedro. There's your first policy right there.
Taco Tuesday. I stole that from the Lego movie.
Taco Tuesday from the Lego movie. I think that's your first policy. Everything is... There's your slogan. Everything is awesome. First down, Nottingham. Johnson, twins to the left, twins to the right. Oh, Dobson takes the ball and is smashed.
Nice hit there.
Absolutely smashed.
He's slow to get up.
Oh.
And there's some afters as well.
Yeah, I think he went down. Number 73, that's Darren Chow. I think he went down a tad easy there, to be fair. I think he was trying to milk that a little.
No, so it sounds like the onside production party has been formed.
As we reach the 2-minute warning in this one, as signalled by our official for the day.
Steve Matthews for Chancellor.
I'm waiting for my role.
Making sure everyone's hydrated. Well, you'd be head of education.
Education secretary.
That would
Wow.
You are a teacher.
I could handle. I could alter education.
You can have Jimmy.
Education secretary. Jimmy could be primary education secretary. There you are, he's nodding.
Tom can do something.
What's Alex doing?
Alex is the policeman
Media.
who stands outside of 10. He's a big boy. I like Alex. Oh, look at this. My DB's just walked over to us, right?
Right.
Get this. He's failed to turn up to training.
He's not been at training?
He's failed to turn up to training, but he has turned up for the game.
So he's now going to go and help with the change for the second half, is he?
He has actually given me a reason for this morning.
So, 2nd and 13. Jones in motion. Johnson, a low snap, but he fields it well. And that ball, oh, Robbie. And the passer. Johnson, I think, there's going to be something goes on there. I saw Johnson holding his head, but that was maybe because of the drop. But there was a flag came flying out from behind Johnson. It's normally in the call. He's not turned his mic on, unfortunately, but it's definitely a personal foul penalty, and it's an automatic first down for Nottingham. It has indeed been confirmed as a roughing the passer penalty. So even though Jones dropped that ball on that shallow out pattern into the flats.
I've actually got a theme tune for my campaign.
No, we just concentrate on the football, for goodness sake. It will be, won't it?
It's not bare necessities.
First down, Nottingham. Inside the Sandwell half. Johnson drops back to pass. He's got pressure.
Open.
He has got. Oh, and he's gone for Davidas again, though.
Davidas again, and he's got double coverage, but he has got number 83.
Jamal.
Wide open.
And Jamal's running back to the huddle, sort of. Saw his hands going up.
This is the other issue they face, because the quarterbacks tend to target Davidas when he's back in play. They tend to get disillusioned. Having said that, when Davidas was on the field, they were hitting some nice passes and moving the ball.
So you can see Jay Moore at the top there, but like you say, you've got to keep that defence honest and use all your options.
Yeah, and it's a double move, and he's open.
Jay Moore's got 7-8 yards on his man there.
Got to spread that ball out more.
So 2nd and 10 after the penalty. Dobson again tries to take it up the middle. And
it's really nice.
Sam Rafferty that time, the first man there. It'll bring up 3rd and long.
Seems to be a lot of Raffertys in that neck of the woods. Was there not one on the Bulls team?
I'll tell you what you could be. You could be Secretary for Gross Generalisations. Oh, look, there's a green there looking Steelers, and there's a green for Nottingham as well.
Rafferty's a bit of a, it's not such a common name.
There's a Hardwick for the Steelers.
There is a Hardwick.
We've got a Hardwick for the. Go on.
Maybe Reese and Robert related.
There's a Gareth Thomas and a J Moore Thomas on opposite sides. Flipping heck.
Well, actually,
and speak of the devil, there's a green just come onto Twitter. Thanks to We Are Inside, I'm watching my at Caesars football from Barcelona. Oh.
That sounds slightly Spanish.
What does?
Barcelona.
Yeah, Barcelona is slightly Spanish.
Pedro.
It's NAQC.
Catalan.
Loving the stream and the accents.
I've only done one.
Which one? The Austin one?
The Austin one that went horrifically wrong.
The Austin one that sounded like it was from...
We can do some Mexican if you want.
The Austin one that sounded like it was from Oxton.
Or would you like to do the rest of the game like this, Matthew?
3rd and long, Nottingham.
Caesars coming out in spread.
A lot of noise coming from that Steelers sideline. Johnson trying to make that defense jump, and they hold, but he's got time.
Johnson stepping back. There is pressure down the middle.
That's a risky
and
pass.
He's got Robbie in the air.
He has. Can we just clarify roles, please? I'm play-by-play. You add the colour commentary between the plays.
I added the colour commentary on the.
The colour commentary.
Can't get my words out today, Matthew.
Hashtag carry on commentary. So 4th down, Nottingham, after the pickup from Jones. It's 4th and 4, and it looks like they're going to be keeping the offence out on the field, and they're going to call a timeout there, Nottingham, just to have a chat about this.
Robbie Jones joining the flight squadron there, taking off. Go back to normal now, shall I? Stop stealing my soft mints or other mints that may be available for purchase.
I'm not talking to you anymore. All right, so looking like they're questioning the spot of the ball, although I can't see anybody conferring. The officials have their notebooks and bits and bobs out.
It quite far back. I'd have said he landed on the 35-yard line.
Do you have that replay again at all, Tom? Or just while we've got a little bit of time for this Caesars timeout. So the ball is currently spotted on the 37. And actually, Robbie catches the ball, and he goes definitely down on the 35. That's an awful spot. And you saw the side judge run straight in there, and anyway.
It's an interesting call. They have been short-changed 2 yards there.
We must say it's pertinent to say at this point, obviously all the officiating crews are all voluntary, and they do a really good job all around the country each and every weekend.
And they haven't got the same replays we've got access to, or the NCAA or NFL officials, but they do, within reason, they do a pretty good job.
Generally get most things right. So here we go, big 4th down as Nottingham do come back out on offence. My thought would be either Jones or Davidas, as they fake to Jones. And they've got a man, it's Mona again. Mona having a real big day, and he's still on his feet. He's inside the 5-yard line, down to the 3.
Now, clock will be running, so they've got to be pretty quick. Not sure whether they've got a timeout to spare.
That's right. As Jimmy's saying in our ear, the clock is stopping because of them resetting the chains.
Tick, 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 tick.
So here we go. You can see Jones in motion again.
Now,
Johnson drops back. And if you look, there's 2 men there. There's Mona and Jay Moore.
Yeah, now, whether they were supposed to both be there is another question.
Well, whatever it did, it confused the DB that was the only one defender in the vicinity.
It takes a very good cornerback to cover 2 receivers.
This will be huge for Nottingham. If they can go in to half-time, cut in that lead by 7, and end up only 2 points behind, this will be a real big momentum shift going into the second period.
You know, they seem to play better when I'm talking in a classy British accent. That's all I'd say.
Timeout red. 3rd and final timeout for Nottingham in the first half.
I always love it when the officials come on the microphone and obviously forget the name of the team and just look at the colour of the jersey. Timeout
He's actually
red.
got the colour wrong because it's maroon.
It is burgundy, in fact.
Well, I'd argue maroon, but...
Burgundy and gold are the official Caesars colours. Don't even go there.
Well, we're black and gold.
Don't even go there.
Well, I'm black and yellow, juniors.
Black and yellow, black and... Oh, God.
They even write songs about us.
Here we go.
I think that was towards the Steelers, really, wasn't it, for the that Super Bowl that year?
I think you'll find it was
no.
my decision to go black and yellow as well instead of burgundy.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you'd wrote the song Black and Yellow.
No. 1st down and goal, Nottingham. Johnson gives the ball to Dobson, and Dobson is met immediately.
Now they're going to have to get back to the line.
They have to go very quick. The timeouts left.
Well,
not hustling too much.
It does sound like I think the officials have stopped the clock. I think there's some confusion between the officials and the players.
Look, yeah, the clock is running. The referee has waved his hand, so got to be quick here. I think it's got to be a little. It's got to be a slant.
Spike at the right time.
Gone with Dobson. He's had him in a go. He's got Merkulis, and that's a touchdown. That is a touchdown.
He has actually got him wide open.
I tell you what, as well, Johnson.
I suspect that girder might be in the way.
Johnson running to his left.
Yeah, there was a nice throw.
Passing to his right. Here we go. Let's look at this. Tom Howe's really pleased he's got this replay. As Johnson fakes to Dobson, and he carries that ball, sets his feet nicely, and to be fair, it's a great grab by
It was a very
Davidas.
nice grab, and that time, that was the right option.
So, electing just to go for the extra 1 point to cut it to a 2-point ball game, which I think is wise at this stage. Johnson on to attempt the extras. High snap, Johnson, ball is down, good kicks, good sounding kick, and the kick is good, which trims the Sandwell lead. 2 points, coming close to half time.
Good sounding kick.
It was, wasn't it? It was a real thud.
It was a nice thud, but is that... Have we got a Deflategate going?
Deflategate?
Deflategate.
Just making stuff up now.
Somebody's got to.
Dear me. I tell you what, it's been a long first half, hasn't it?
It has, and I'm not quite sure why, because the ball's been moving.
It has.
There's been a lot of completions, and I'm a little bit surprised that...
the run, I mean, there's been probably an equal amount of run to pass, but like you say, there's not been over the amount of incompletions to stop the clock. It's
the first quarter seemed to fly by, but whether somebody's accidentally knocked the clock backwards, I'm not sure.
I've got a roast chicken dinner to get back for.
Well, lucky you.
I know.
I haven't.
I know.
I'm having McDonald's for tea. Or another restaurant that is available to the public.
Didn't you have fast food after training on Wednesday night with half his squad?
I actually had a fast food restaurant breakfast this morning.
Danny Johns kicks the ball off, and it's fielded at the 5-yard line, and it's given over to James Jones cross.
Great tackle.
Oh, and there's a flag.
Number 27,
Jason Robinson.
Jason Robinson. Now, I'm not quite sure what they're calling that flag for.
Face mask.
Well, I didn't think he got the face mask.
Well, that's what's been called because I've just seen the signal. So you can see here, good coverage, and it was high around his neck.
It was high, but high tackle's not
Personal
a foul.
foul. defence, number 27, grasping the face mask. 15-yard penalty, first down.
It's difficult for us to tell from this angle because he's facing away from us, but
Definitely went high on him.
he was high. Having said that, unless he grabs the face mask or a horse collar, it's not a penalty.
So from that, I would suggest that he's grabbed the face mask.
Yes, yeah. I'm just debating with you.
Anyway, when is that next flight out of Gatwick for the BA flight attendant outfit that you've got on?
Well, I think there's one in the next 10 minutes flying to Mallorca.
Is there?
Might be. Let's have a look.
Enjoy,
see if I was
enjoy
right.
your trip, because I'd rather do the second half on my own. Anyway, first down, Sandwell. Can they put some late drama on the top of what has been a really entertaining first half of play? As Wilkins,
When he has broken free,
he
but
does.
he's not got many yards to follow.
Sandwell still with a couple of timeouts left, and that is the half.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned, a real entertaining half of football.
It was, and I think I'd be right in saying this. Not what either of us expected.
No, not close. And I think it threatened early on to go Sandwell's way. Nottingham hung in, and then Sandwell went, not only took the lead, but then went an extra score ahead. And you were kind of thinking, have Nottingham got the resilience to come back at all?
And do you know what? They've come back and they've kept it a competitive game. And regardless of whether they win this or not, they now know that they've got potential to beat Sandwell later on in the season. They've got potential to beat the Falcons. But they've got to get this game out of the way first.
So, a strong showing from both teams. We're going to take a few minutes just to lubricate our throats and have a little bit of refreshment. We'll come back to you after about 10 minutes' time with some score updates and some half-time scores from around the country. So you leave us here in Nottingham with the score at half-time. The Sandwell Steelers 21, the Nottingham Caesars 19. We'll be back in a while.
So, welcome back. I hope you've enjoyed your half-time break. Got a nice cup of tea. There's my colleague Matthew Walker.
I did get a nice cup of tea, which is unfortunately why I was late back.
You did, and still eating your prawn cocktail crisps by a manufacturer, but will not finish it.
My namesake. Anyway, here we are. Here we go again. Just missed the opening kick-off there as Sandwell fielded the ball, and on first down, they will start their opening drive of the second half inside their 35-yard line, where it'll be first down with them, the Steelers leading 21-19 here in Nottingham. Interesting, as we start the second half, check out who's at quarterback for Sandwell. Not Callum Davidson.
Well, he did take a knock in that first half, and I wonder whether they've had to look at him a bit further.
I'm ever so sorry at this stage, but we don't have a name for number 5, the new Sandwell quarterback. So if there's any way that anybody can find out, looking around, looking at Coach Giles, if there's any way anybody can find out the name of the number 5 for Sandwell, who's playing quarterback this second half, that would be brilliant. Being told that Callum Davidson, the starter for Sandwell, has injured his back and is unlikely to return to this one this afternoon. So if you know who the Sandwell quarterback is now, the number 5, unfortunately the roster I have in front of me doesn't give me that information, contact us here at the show. We've got a couple of other quarterbacks down on the list. We've got a Stephen Yates, but we've got him down as number 17. So unfortunately, until we get confirmation of that, we will just refer to them as the Sandwell QB. As he drops back and he looks to the right, passes short, and that's a good 3 and out for Nottingham. And they'll take heart. As much as you never like to see a player go down injured, Nottingham will take heart with the fact that Callum Davidson was pretty much instrumental in all of the scoring that Sandwell were part of.
Yeah, you know, he's an impressive QB, and it's not good to see a guy go down, particularly with a back injury.
Jones and Hardwick back deep to receive the punt. The punt's another good kick. Had that sound again, George, that thud sound that I like. I bet the kicker has stayed down. And he looks like he's in a bit of a mess. Slowly now sitting back up. Sandwell, medics.
Yeah, that's that long second quarter just starting to take its toll on players. You know, the longer they're out there, the more fatigue they take, and obviously the more hits they take.
Looks like they're examining his lower left leg. Don't know what that is. Do that again. Do that again. No, do that again, please.
It's only. Should we mention Pedro, Charlie Fox? I feel like.
In what context? Because we've been mentioning Pedro quite a lot.
It was in end brackets. I think he's expecting us to mention Pedro.
Okay.
We can if you'd like us to, Mr. Fox.
So Alex Mackenzie-Grist is very slow to walk off the field, and he's been in charge of all the kick-in this afternoon. Field incorrectly marked. 40-yard lines too close together. That's because we have a 90-yard field here at Nottingham, so midfield is the 45-yard line. So yes, very well observed, but we are aware of that situation here in Nottingham.
It is not a mistake.
It is not a mistake, but obviously when you see the cameras near the end zones, we're unable to put any longer a field in due to the fact that this is an athletic stadium, and at one end we have the throwing circle. Aerodynamics. I don't think I've heard my name on television quite as much during this coverage. It's a little unnerving. Hashtag Pedro. Hashtag Luca's dad.
No,
explain.
No, it's all right. One of my players, Luca Malero, Natal's younger brother, is also known as Pedro.
Oh, well, good afternoon, Pedro. And
it is his birth name.
Who?
Not
Pedro's?
Pedro's birth name.
Oh, good afternoon, Pedro, and happy birthday.
Not my alter ego.
While we're chatting aimlessly there, as per usual, Sam Kinnelly made the reception and was met immediately by the Sandwell DB for a loss of a yard. Fun first half, enjoying the commentary. Been missing this brand of football. Oh, thanks very much. It'd be nice to know whose side you are on, whether you're a Steelers fan or a Caesars fan or just a Britball fan in general. There's Johnson
lined up in trips this time.
Johnson drops back and that ball.
Well, now that's interesting hit, but they have waved it off.
But they deemed that ball uncatchable, which is why that flag was waved off. That was the signal that the official used.
So it brings down 3rd down and long.
And a very similar start. So that's of the first half. Although the first half there was a loss on first down due to
Interestingly, Dan is looking to spread that ball out a bit more.
I had a chat with Dan at half time and he was feeling very, very pumped. He said, I really feel on it. He said he felt like his throwing action was working well. He got a good read. Offensive line was giving him time and he was really excited about the prospects for the second half as he drops back on 3rd. And he's got time. He's gone Johns and he's underthrown Johns.
Interestingly, through that series, Davidas was actually off the field, so he had no other option but to look elsewhere. Otherwise, it would have been thrown to the sideline every time.
Also caught up with the electrician, Rob Hardwick. He said pleased with how the defence had performed, but very much the case that they could do better. They know what elements they need to improve.
It's a case of tightening up from what we've seen on both sides of the ball. It's been big passing games that have got the yardage. The running game for both sides has really slowed down in that latter part of the second quarter. So they've certainly tightened up in the box, but it's just got to finish off and tighten up on the pass coverage.
Official word here from the Sandwell Steelers. Unfortunately, Callum has injured his back and has been pulled from the game. The return is questionable.
Thank you, Sandwell, for confirming
indeed.
that.
Oh, the kick is blocked, and that's a disaster for Nottingham because that's going to be fallen on in the end zone, and that's going to be a touchdown for the Steelers.
Yeah, number 55 for the Steelers there. That's Jake Hill with the touchdown, and that's great chase, and he just dives on that ball to secure it.
And that's kind of why we love this game so much, because things can change in an instant. Literally, from a 21-19 2-point lead, Sandwell extend their lead back out.
Yeah, really nice pressure from the Sandwell special teams unit to break through and block that ball, and to finish it off with a touchdown. They'll be happy with that. It'd be interesting if Sandwell could also confirm if they are watching the stream.
I've got the name of the quarterback.
We've got a number 5.
I've got a number 5, and our number 5 is Joe Reynolds.
Joe Reynolds.
So that is the Sandwell replacement quarterback, who it looks like will take the reins for the remainder of this game.
And they have gone for 2.
As Reynolds drops back and he hits his man in the end zone.
Yeah, that's an easy pass. No real pressure there. Number 11, Jivan Sandhu with the catch in the end zone. And that's 2 points for Sandwell to add to their score.
So, a few those half-time scores, double coverage. Sending us the half-time scores. You may have seen them flash up just before the second half kicked off. That surely East Kilbride score is the wrong way around. So it's 20-0 result to the East Kilbride Pirates at under 19 level. The Manchester Titans running out 49-0 winners against the Lincolnshire Bombers. Merseyside Nighthawks half-time beating the Lancashire Wolverines by a score of 9-0. Blitz and the Aztecs in a close one, 7-6.
Very close game.
Farnham and London Warriors not in a close one.
Warriors getting back to winning ways again after their defeat to the Blitz earlier in the season.
Senior Manchester Titans 14-0 ahead of the Yorkshire Rams.
Looking dominant in the north.
Indeed, a walkover for the West Coast Trojans over the Doncaster Mustangs. Obviously that score needs updating now in Nottingham.
I believe that Falcons score is also incorrect.
So we'll keep you updated during the afternoon. Sandwell will look to kick off again to Nottingham, ahead now by that 2-score advantage, and that ball could be going through the back of the end zone, which it does, and it will be Nottingham ball on their 20-yard line. So, not the start to the second half that Nottingham would have wanted, particularly after they scored late on in the first half to wrestle that momentum away from Sandwell. And let's see what Johnson and the offence can do on this second possession of the second half.
Got to get that ball moving again. It was a dire first drive for the Caesars in the second half.
Interesting, three pass plays on that first drive, all resulting in a total of -2 yards. As Dan comes out looking to pass again, and he's in trouble, and that's going to be a holding call, I would have thought.
There's a flag on the play.
Where that's been thrown is in the vicinity of holding.
Be on Jason Robinson.
There we go. Let's have a look. I don't know. Jason looked okay at that point. It may well have been one of the O-linemen, but just listen to the call.
Holding. Offence, number 64. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Indeed.
That call was on David Thomas there with the Caesars offence. I thought J. Rob might have just grabbed cloth as he ran past.
Indiscipline, unfortunately, once again from Nottingham.
So Davidas has been substituted back onto the field.
First and 20, Nottingham will start off at.
Robbie Jones lined up in the slot. Jamie Molnar on the other side.
And Jamie's had a big first half.
He has. He's had a very good first half.
Johnson hands off to Robinson, who's got a little bit of a crease up the middle, and then he's tackled.
Yeah, good solid tackling there by Sandwell.
Picks up a gain of 2 before he's brought down. So second and 19. Danny Johns is replaced by Jay Moore. Thomas. Just feels like it's gone a little flat after that block punt for a touchdown here in the stadium.
Yeah, it has, but they've got to get that spark back.
Nottingham really, you feel, have to be the next team to score to keep this one close. Johnson dropped a pass. He looks and he looks again. He's got Jay Moore. And Jay Moore hangs on. That's a great grab from Jay Moore in contact. Some people questioning Jay Moore's hands sometimes, but right there he demonstrated real good concentration, a solid pair of hands.
You know, he's a player that's improving all the time. He's got the speed, and if he can get those hands, he'll be a real threat. But it was a very, very nice grabbing contact there.
So from first and 20, we now end up with third and 9, so still a big ask for this Nottingham offence. Johnson again trips to the short side, which is the right side as Johnson takes the field. Davidas to the left side.
Oh, and he has got Jay Moore.
Oh, he's way overthrown Jay Moore that time though. Way overthrown him. And that once again will bring up fourth down, and so a second three and out of the afternoon.
Sandwell playing in a zonal defence there. You see cornerback just drops off Jay Moore as he goes through his zone, and safety picks him up.
Let's hope that Johns this time can get the punt away. But the Sandwell defence will be buoyed by what happened last time on fourth down, and will no doubt be looking to come after this kick again. So Johns does get the punt away this time. It's just about, and it falls short, and it's picked up by.
Looks like James Jones.
It does.
Cross.
Oh, and he's met immediately, and he's munched, I think is the best way to describe that, by 4 or 5 Caesars players, none the least Andrew Hawkins, and number 13 in there as well, Mark Martin for Nottingham.
So let's see what Sam will come out with at the start of the second half. It'll be their first offensive drive.
Wow. Any tennis fans around and about? Rafael Nadal has just won his record 10th French Open title.
That's just too many.
Beating up on Stan Wawrinka. If anyone saw the Wawrinka-Murray semi-final on Friday, it was an education in tennis. But Nadal has beaten Wawrinka in straight sets.
The man's a technician.
So first down, Sandwell on their own 40-yard line. Reynolds hands off.
Yeah, really nice interior defence there from the Caesars. Everybody's piling in. No yardage gain.
Jones cross.
Even Mickey Fisher, the safety, in there on the tackle.
Jones cross on the carry, and I think for this second half now. As much as we've seen Reynolds complete that 2-point attempt for the score,
dinky pass.
I think they're going to rely a little more heavily on the ground game, I would have thought.
Yeah, you know, they've not been great at getting the ground game going so far, but the more they punch and the more that defense gets fatigued, that's when holes will open up and they'll hope that they can make yardage.
So 2nd and 10, Sandwell. Reynolds looks back to pass this time. He's got Wilkins coming. He knows he's got Wilkins coming.
Beckett stepping
So he
up.
takes off and tucks the ball. And Beckett does manage to push him out of bounds for maybe a pickup of 1.
Yeah, really nice coverage there. Beckett reading that play well.
For me there, I don't know about you, but Reynolds maybe took that ball a little too early.
Yeah.
Signifying to the defenders that, you know, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run.
I mean, Cal Davidson, you know, I suspect he might have got that ball off. Having said that,
So he feels the pressure from Wilkins and tucks it.
He's kept the ball secure.
He has.
And as quarterback, that's your #1 priority.
It is. I suppose the difference, though, is if you can remain a dual threat as long as possible and keep defenders guessing, well, that way will come with experience. As Reynolds drops back on 3rd and 9,
Wilkins
he dinks
again.
the ball over and it's caught.
James Jones cross with the grab.
Tackled immediately by Fisher, again, number 20 for Nottingham.
It's a really nice series for the defence as they switch over.
But now they've got to be able to capitalise, because the chances are they're going to get this. They're going to get this ball deep in their own field position again, deep in their own territory. So,
yeah. But what a great series for the Caesars defence, and you know, you got to wonder how much of an effect Callum Davidson had on that offence in the first half.
I would say significant.
And whether Reynolds can keep his offensive moving forward.
So a little bit of history about Sandwell we've got for you. They were formed in 2013, and that was their associate year. As the ball is kicked away, and what a high kick, and Hardwick watches it bounce, and that's going to take.
He's going to field it.
He fields it inside. It's 5, and he's
well
at the
to
2,
stay up.
and he's still up, but he's now been snagged.
To his own blocker.
He's still on his feet, and he gets out to the 6-yard line, and this would be trouble right here.
Yeah, ran into his own blocker, and it's there is an injury, and Hardwick slow to get up.
Real good kick as well, though. Nice high-hanging kick, and it bounced and really checked inside the 5-yard line, and Rob had no option than to pick it up and field it. You can see here, so lovely high kick, and it just takes a Sandwell bounce on this next one right there, yeah.
And it really allows his special teams unit to get down the field. It's a really good punt.
Coverage is very good. As I was saying, Sandwell formed in 2013, so only four years old this year. In 2014, their first year on the league, although it looks like this kick's coming back actually. We missed the flag there. So listen to the official when he's ready. 2014, they went 2-8 in their first season. Then last year, 2015 in Division 2, they went undefeated, 10-0, and were Division 2 champions, then got promoted to Division 1. That's where we first had our experience against the Sandwell outfit. The 9-1 last year in Division 1, and lost to the Bury Saints, who were the eventual winners of the Division 1 title.
Solid team.
So they've come a long way in a very short space of time.
Yeah, you know, they've got a lot of products from the Birmingham Lions set up as well, and the talent that comes out of there. I'm looking down the list. Obviously, James Jones Cross, Callum Davidson. I'm pretty sure Genevieve Sandu was a Lions player. His brother Rohan is current quarterback for the under-19s team.
Also, though, I mean, I know when Coventry and Birmingham come over, their coaches said that there've been certain players from both those outfits that have defected over to Sandwell, and for whatever reason, and obviously that's not ours to speculate, but it does appear, for whatever reason, Sandwell are attracting players from all around that West Midlands.
Stuart Andrew, he is a linebacker coach at the Birmingham Lions University. Well, I say Birmingham Lions University, Birmingham University Lions team. Very, very good coach. Gareth Thomas, I believe, is also linked somehow. There's a lot of really good players on that list. And I think in some part or in some small way, there's got to be a lot of credit to the Lions that have produced these these players.
Now, 4th and 20, so there was a 10-yard penalty there. We didn't really get a call from the official.
Taking nothing away from Sandwell.
No, absolutely. And the punt is up, and it's another good punt again. It's Mickey Fisher under it this time. Fisher fields it at his 25. He has, and Rob obviously, and he's got turned the corner, and there's a flag.
I suspect there's going to possibly
that's
be
around the neck.
That's
a tackle right around the neck.
Yeah.
That hasn't been called, but there's, like you say, there's an illegal block penalty pending. We think.
You know, again,
pushing the back, definitely.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can catch it on the replay. Another great kick.
It was a really nice kick, and you look how fast the coverage guys are getting downfield. And I think it's number 47 for Caesars, Jason Potter. And you just see it here.
During the return, illegal use of hands. Hands in the back, number 47 of the return team.
Close
Half
again.
the distance to the
Didn't
goal.
use hands at all.
First down, Nottingham.
And that tackle there right at the end, look, he's
Well, you see, I was having a debate in a Facebook group about this.
Okay.
That is not it's not a penalty.
Okay.
Unless they grab the mask or they grab the horse collar,
Okay.
it is not a penalty. And unless the NCAA, I don't know whether the senior team or senior league uses NCAA rules or NFL rules. Until it's changed over there, it will not be changed over here. And a lot of coaches have called that as a safety issue.
I think it's obviously if you think about the amount of feet you need down in bounds.
Yeah.
I think it's NCAA rules, but there we go. So first down, Dan, on his own 15-yard line. Ooh, Robbie has got the ball.
Stayed up, but great defense by the Steelers.
And
Robbie, it looks like he's getting up.
I think he's just been flattened, to be fair. Here he comes again on that jet sweep again.
Yeah, I mean, the blocking just broke down here.
So here he comes on the jet sweep. And number 85
for the Steelers, just straight through.
Adam Bates.
Yeah, beating his man off the line.
Like
but a lot of
hot
players,
knife through butter.
Or a few coaches certainly have called that as a potential safety issue.
Sure.
And rightly so, you know. He comes down, it's almost as bad as a face mask if he lands hard.
Indeed. I mean, obviously in rugby, to tackle up around the neck like that's a penalty. It is. Johnson drops back, he looks over the middle, and
that was
a bit hasty with that one.
Yeah.
This could turn into a bit of a defensive battle now.
It could. Neither offense looking like they've got the momentum they had from the latter part of the second quarter. Obviously, Steelers having a pretty good reason. They're losing their starting quarterback. We'll see if Reynolds can spark them, but Caesars really, come out the block slow, and that special teams play, that punt that ended up as a touchdown for Sandwell, that's a real deflate.
We can see Ash warming up on the sidelines, and Ash has been pretty prevalent in most Caesars games this season as Dan steps up and he looks to hit Molnar and just over Molnar's head. Yeah, I think so too.
That was a late hit.
Yeah, you were about to say.
I was about to say it, and I was wondering why there was no flags. It was a very, very late hit.
Ball dropped, and then the man still gets cleaned out.
It'll be a 15-yard penalty.
And that'll be an automatic first down for a personal foul. All you ask the officials for is consistency.
Yeah.
Dead ball after the play was over. Personal foul, defense number 31. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, that was a good call. It was the right call to make. It was a very late hit. I was surprised actually the flag came so late as well. But I'd have called it and was about to, but no flags. So I thought I'd give them the benefit, but they got it right.
As much as it's not how the Caesars will want to, the drive extends.
You know, I think in a game, if it does start to become a defensive grind, any yardage is good yardage.
Indeed. So first down, Nottingham, and that could be a free play. It could be a free play, and Dan's gone up top looking for Jay Moore, and
nearly got it.
Although if he'd have caught it, he'd have been 9 yards out of bounds.
Yeah, but that was really good coverage. Number 3, Gareth Thomas there, I believe, has just come back from his holidays. So.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Yeah, just using Sandwell's aggression against him. As I was saying, Gareth Thomas just coming back off his holidays. I've seen his pictures posted all over Facebook. So lucky him.
And we mentioned that in the first half about using Sandwell's aggression against them. And
but it's good tactical awareness from the quarterback Dan Johnson and Vanden Warner, the OC, to get that cadence call like that. And it's working well for them.
So 1st and 5, and Johnson hands up to Robinson. Oh, he doesn't. It's another great fake, and Robbie Jones.
Oh, and Robbie's dropped it.
He did have it, and then it came out at the last minute. And Robbie will be upset about that one.
He won't be happy about that. He knows if he can get hands on football that he's
got to be
make
catching
that
it.
grab.
You can see it again. They're going another good fake.
It was a really nice hit from the defensive back, number 18 for Steelers. That's Zach Green. Mentioned him briefly earlier on. In our if he's got one guy named him and he's got another guy like him. But, no, it was a great hit by Zach Green, and that one definitely wasn't PI. Perfectly timed hit by the safety.
We've even nearly got those. Look.
Yeah,
a Kinnerley and a Kinnersley. Anyway, 2nd and 5, Caesars, as the skies go very dark here over Harvey Haddon. Robinson switches side, and that will be a false start.
Number 74, I suspect, for the Caesars, Neil Morley, just nudging forward.
Dead ball prior to the snap. False start. Number 74 of the offence. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Good call, coach. Good call right there. And so we march forwards, we march backwards. We march forwards, we march backwards.
And this is the issue. If you're mixing your cadence up, you've got to trust your line. And if they stay disciplined, great advantage. But you can go 5-10 yards backwards pretty well. Soon, same sort of speed you can go forwards in.
So 2nd and 10 now, after what seems like an eternity of non-plays. Robinson on Johnson's right, with 2 receivers left and 2 right, and this time Robinson does give the ball.
Great run.
That's a lovely run. Just shy of the 1st down.
Yeah, really read those holes well, and you see that explosiveness that he brings when he does find that space.
Just spotted a Caesars veteran on the sideline, looking like he's just come back from Bermuda there. Number 99, Jamie Sholter, with his family.
Well, I actually thought he was supposed to be playing today.
Well,
there were rumours of him coming back to the field.
There were rumours of Mr. Sholter gracing the field once again.
Quite whether he's back from injury. He did suffer a pretty nasty injury.
But also recently a new dad as well, and we can see him feeding baby down there.
Yeah, either that or he's got a small person tucked away.
3rd and a long one this time. You'd expect Robinson to be getting this football right here, but only because Johnson has been a little inconsistent at the start of this 2nd half. So let's see, a lot of noise, and they put the ball in Johnson's hand.
And that's a massive overthrow. Nobody in sight.
Miscommunication, big time.
Yeah. Now, will they go for it?
No, the offense are coming off the field. I can see the punt unit going on. Johnson and Robinson head to the sideline.
Going back to Sholter, he briefly was training with the GB squad before his injury, and he really is a credit to the defence when he's on, and a real great addition. And if they do manage to get him back, that will really
bolster the 2nd half run, definitely.
Yeah, that interior defence is a solid D lineman.
So Danny Johns back to punt for Nottingham again. James Jones Cross, a return man once again for the Steelers. Johns will be punting into the wind. It's a good snap. That's a half-decent kick which will bounce in front of... That was live. That looked like that touched the Steelers player. That looked like that touched the Steelers knee.
The officials have cut it dead. I don't know whether we've got a replay of that.
Let's have a look. Let's see if we can watch this real closely, because that did look like it was very close to coming off of Steelers. That number 31 there. Oh, can't see.
I think he's got away with it just.
Let's see if we can slow that down. That's Paul Zinkus. Tom Howe, our exec producer today, is going to try and see if he can. Here we go.
I love slow-mo.
That's brilliant. Here's half speed. So the ball's up.
Boop.
Let's have a look. Takes a bounce there. Not really got his eye on the ball.
Oh,
no.
I think he's got away with that.
I think he has as well. So here we go. 1st down. Reynolds at quarterback.
Yeah.
3 men. Almost a wishbone type formation behind him. Wilkins is arguing that he's being held.
More of a full house setup.
You're right. James O'Brien there. Not just an American in Nebraska that found some football live on YouTube. Thanks for sharing and streaming it. Oh, it's good to know you're with us.
Share it with your friend. I was supposed to be in Nebraska next month.
Farming?
No.
Oh.
A wedding.
A wedding?
But, it actually was a farmer. He was an American that I met in Canada. Grant Patadel, if you are somehow watching this, congratulations, and I'm sorry I can't be there in Nebraska.
2nd and 6. That's going to be false start, I believe. False start against Sandwell. It is signalled by the official.
Back it up then, let's go.
Yeah, certainly.
Dead ball prior to the snap. False start. Number 24 of the offence. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
Okay, indiscipline from Sandwell.
Is Lord Farlington a legitimate lord?
I don't know, but I bet he speaks like you did earlier on.
I suspect Lord Farlington also speaks
Read
like
that
this.
in Lord Farlington's accent, please.
Cheering everyone on. Go Caesars.
La la la.
Hashtag not versus San.
Wouldn't he be Son?
we should apologise. We do really appreciate you viewing.
And 2nd and 12. And
there's another flag.
So that will be an illegal procedure penalty.
There's a great tackle by Wilkins on the edge.
It is. That will be an illegal procedure penalty against Sandwell. I've no doubt about that.
No, we...
Legal formation, let's see. Nothing there to suggest it's anything defensively.
Unless it's too many men in the backfield.
Which would be an illegal procedure penalty.
Yeah, all right. I missed that bit. I thought you said full stop. I'm in my own little bubble.
That guy from Nebraska, just if you're still watching, I didn't catch his Twitter sort of handle. If you're watching, we're on again next week. This time next week.
And if you know Grant Patadle, not that you know everyone in Nebraska.
Because Nebraska's tying, isn't it? There we go. So.
Because your guy was off, there were 4.
Yeah, it's too many men in the backfield.
Illegal formation on the offence. 5 men in the backfield. The penalty will be declined. 3rd down.
So, Amurna Cider, 75. Let all your mates know we're back here next week, where the Caesars will be taking on the Coventry Jets.
Oh, and that's a big run by James Jones Cross.
But met after a pickup of 5.
Hits that hole with such ferocity.
So yeah, 2:30 kickoff here at Harvey Hallen Stadium again next week in Nottingham, in England, in the United Kingdom.
Let's just say this once again: we're not into taking the Michael out of our
no,
viewers.
we're not. Sorry,
we do really genuinely appreciate you tuning in.
And it'd be brilliant if you. We're similar to you when there's no NFL and then no NCAA. We try and get our fix of football wherever we can. And so if you're feeling the same out there in the Midwest, then tell your friends about it. As Sandwell kicked the ball away again after their next possession stalling, and Robbie lets that bounce. It's going to take a Steelers or a Sandwell bounce. It's going to be that's unbelievable.
I think he's taken that.
I think he's taken that into the end zone. See how
he's taken it.
He's not. He's.
Yeah, yes, Sandwell coaches aren't very happy, but I think that did go into the end zone.
I think you're right. Let's have a look at that again. I think he's, like you say, he's picked that ball up and slid into the end zone with it prior to securing possession out in the field of play. But it was very close. It was almost a perfect punt.
Yeah, definitely in the end zone.
Yep.
It was a very, very, very good call by the officials. It could have gone either way, but he did slide into the end zone with it.
So, a little bit of an offensive drought from both sides.
Yeah, it's been a lax third quarter. I didn't mean to do it.
It's just you're channeling your inner American.
My inner Nebraskan.
Although you have more roots in Canada, don't you? Yes. To be fair, so. First down, Nottingham. Dan's got twin receivers to the left and the right, and he's over.
That was.
Well, I think initially, I'm not sure it was meant to be a break. Dan's signalling to J-Rob about clamping down on the ball.
He was certainly clamping there, and it just got caught up. And
it did start. It started with the fact that the snap wasn't great, but Robbie, Dan should really still be hitting Robbie from there.
Yeah, Robbie would have made yards on that. He was uncovered. But again, that's the third or fourth time that connection between the two of them in the backfield's happened like that.
So it would very much appear that Jason Robinson is having first and third quarter carries, and Daniel Dobson was the feature back in the second period as Johnson drops back again. Oh, it's a risky pass that is.
Pressure, but it is picked, and he looked that in really, really well.
Oh, and Dan's nailed him, to be fair.
Yeah,
oh,
he has.
And there's
there
a flag.
Is a flag.
What's the flag for? I mean, it came just after the tackle from Johnson, but...
See if we can get a...
Let's have a look. Now, watch where Dan throws this from. Look, back foot, under pressure.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that was only ever going to end up...
It was really good coverage by Chris Wedderburn.
That's his second pick of the day.
Yeah, number 21, Pete Roden, with his second pick.
I don't quite know what the flag came out for, but...
Whether he's out of bounds.
I think it's being called against. I think it's being blocking the back.
Blocking the back.
Yeah, so... Even though Sandwell will retain possession, they will not have it quite as good field position as that.
After the interception, illegal use of hands in the back by the return team, number 59. Be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Grey ball, first down.
So yeah, indeed, a block in the back there by a Sandwell defender.
And you see, that's the difference between Dan Johnson and Callum Davidson. My own view is Callum would have either taken the hit and secured the ball, or somehow managed to get it out of bounds.
Yeah.
But he would not have thrown that ball.
Forcing it.
And this is sometimes where Dan falls down. You know, he's got very, very, very good potential to be a top quality quarterback in Division 1. But he does seem to force it.
Just to update on what I was mentioning about the running backs. Dan Dobson, we've just seen on the sideline there in his everyday clothing. He's left the game with a leg injury, we're told. So you can see him now being in charge of the quality H2O.
James Jones-Cross with a nice 5-yard pickup there.
So unless John Holmes is going to come on to take any of the load, it'll be Jason Robinson all the way from here. I'll tell you what, the wind's picked up significantly as well.
Yeah, it has, and you know, I don't know whether it's quite started spitting with rain as well. It's difficult to tell from here, but certainly got that feeling about it that it could quickly, and as we know, this field can become very slick very quickly.
2nd and 8, Sandwell inside the Nottingham 20. Reynolds hands off to.
That's much better defense.
Andrew
Jones, Wilkins, Tom Harvey on the initial hit.
Swarming defense. So Jones-Cross maybe loses a couple on that, which will bring up 3rd and long for Sandwell, but still in good field position. And you can see the penetration here by the D line straight away. The two ends, Wilkins and Kieran Matthews crash down on that runner almost immediately. So getting round the edge very nicely. And indeed, it's 3rd and 10. Will Reynolds go to the air this time? I mean, to be fair, he's come in, he's taken control pretty well.
Just watch this car slide down the bank.
Ah, yes. Interesting white T-gun over the far side. He was attempting to get into action.
Lawrence in motion.
Now Reynolds does drop back to pass. He's under pressure.
A lot of pressure. Ball, and that's
picked
number
off.
55. I believe that's Sabula for the Caesars.
But great play.
And that's going to be a penalty, I suspect, on Sandwell for shouting in number 67, Tom Harvey's face.
I think you're right.
It's going to be a personal foul.
Let's have a look at the pick to begin with. So you can see initially, I think it's who is it? 56 is that? Is that
Sabella with the pick, and it is number 56.
Mike Thompson who tips the ball immediately to begin with. Let's see if we can see. Tom Harvey was laid out at the end of the play as well.
And then number 56, I believe, for Sandwell.
Told him about it. And we've got a flag. We've got a flag down this side on the 20-yard line nearest the Caesars sideline. Though we've also got a flag on the 40-yard line.
And whether Tom said something as he's left the field of play as well.
See if these offset or not.
Usually they go against Harvey.
They do. Here we go.
Illegal formation on the offence. That penalty will be declined. Dead ball after the play was over. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 71.
Get some natural ones as well.
Of Gray. There'll be a 15-yard penalty. The ball will remain with Nottingham. It'll be a 1st down.
But Dan Catry there, number 71 for the Steelers that got called, and do apologise to Stuart Smith as we thought it was 56.
So 2 penalties, both on Sandwell on that one.
It was, yeah.
Which really help. Really will help out. Oh dear! And you're talking about that T-gun over the far side, that white T-gun.
Oh, that T-gun's stuck.
It looks like he's nosedived. Is
that Steve Matthew getting out of the car?
It looks like he's nosedived onto the track, and we can just see it at the top corner of your screen here.
Oh, and the lads are pushing. Look at that.
Oh dear me! I tell you what, that bottom bumper's coming right off.
Oh, he is. He is.
So look, and we've got number 86 there. We've got
we have got a football game going on. Oh, they've got it. They've pushed it up the bank.
Mark Parsons.
Oh, that's great work there.
Mark Parsons and Connor Monkman there with the assist.
As the whole stadium claps them for getting that car off the
Poor
ditch.
decision though. You've got to make better decisions than that. And then John Holmes is in the backfield, and he's got some edge. And
he nearly gets free, but it's a great coverage tackle by Lee French, the Steelers linebacker. Again, another high tackle though.
Must just say again, Mark Parsons and Connor Monkman will go down on the stat sheet for the assist to the T-gun.
I feel like that T-gun might be. I'm not going to say anything. We've got a cameraman in our face, and we've got to smile.
The legend that is Tidswell, Mr. Dave Tidswell. Dave Tidswell used to play for the Hoods down in this stadium. Did you know that?
I did actually. Yeah. If you are looking to buy a 4x4, looking at the Tegan Zephyr there, I would avoid Volkswagen.
And if you ever find a second-hand white Tegan come on the market, I would avoid that as well.
That again is right round the neck.
It is.
And this, you know, it's not a penalty, but should it be? For player safety, which across all levels of the sport is being pushed for, should that be a penalty?
So Dave and I were chatting before the game, and I said to Dave about how I used to come down to the stands on Sunday afternoons as an 11, 12-year-old, watching Dave play. And to say Dave's 86 now, he was wearing very well. 56, 30 years out. I thought I'd done well there, actually.
I should say there are there are other 4x4s on the market that would also get stuck in that situation.
Dave Tidwell now classified as a 4x4, is he? We're just going from conversation to conversation as Johnson looks again, he throws off his back foot again.
Another pick, and that's Dan Johnson forcing the football. It's number 9, Alex Mackenzie Grist with the interception. And that's just poor decision making. Sometimes you just got to take that hit.
And look again, he's off his back foot again. Look, he's scrambling and scrambling off his back foot. And
you know, even if he had, it was double coverage.
It's a great grab, to be fair.
It was a very, very good grab by the linebacker.
Stretched out at arm's length and secure possession.
You just secure that ball. And this is what's killing. This is what kills teams, is people trying to force footballs into places where footballs simply don't go, other than defenders' hands.
And that signifies the end of the third quarter. With the score here in Nottingham, the Sandwell Steelers 29, the Nottingham Caesars 19, and with it, that might go for a real good chance for Nottingham to get back into this one.
Yeah, potentially.
Wardsy Sean, watching from City Hospital Newell. I didn't get that. There we go. City Hospital Newell ward with Mama. Go Caesars, cheering number 13, Mark Martin. Good to know you're watching from Newell. Newell ward, rather, in the City Hospital. That's where I was born. City Hospital.
Yeah.
Where were you born?
In a barn.
In a barn.
Do you know what? In Nottingham somewhere.
You don't know where you were born?
No.
Wowzers. So, let's see what Sandwell can do with this next possession as they begin just about midfield on their own 44-yard line. 1st and 10. Reynolds...
In Nottingham, I just don't know which one.
Reynolds, the quarterback, once again. I feel the need to hold a football.
Need for speed, I thought you were going to say.
The need to hold a football. So whistle goes before that play begins. Or more than likely against the offence for, again, another illegal procedure penalty. I would have thought that would be the case.
Yeah, it's been a very disappointing third quarter, really. Cheering on the Steelers.
Not versus San. 55, biggest fan, right? 55. Who's number 55? Number 55 is Jake Hill.
It literally says that at the bottom.
It does. But there's nobody on the field who's wearing number 1992, so I had to just check that was. So you've got a fan out there. Fan Jake Hill. Jade Little's cheering you on. Obviously not that big a fan, otherwise she'd be here with you in the stadium. But nice to know someone's watching you. So, 1st down, 1st and 10, Sandwell, as Wilkins looks to blitz, and he does come through, and the ball's handed off.
Yeah, really nice tackling there. Baby Bash with the tackle.
And Lewis Horton, a new name to the Steelers offense, running the ball on 1st down. So 29-19 scoreline here. Look to see if double coverage can come up with the goods as well to update us from scores around the country.
DC always come up with the goods.
They do.
I should also mention Nottingham Caesars. Actually, I think they may have 4 writers for DC now. With Grant Dean Lawless covering the adults game, and 3 of my juniors have stepped up.
Awesome. A real float of that. Sorry, George, that's a chance to be picked off, but Fisher.
Now, that
will be
offensive PI.
Offensive pass interference as Mickey Fisher was attempting.
Slow to get up.
He does. Fisher was attempting to make the grab, and there was a Steelers player draped all over him. If we can, let's have a look, see if we can catch a number on this. So he falls really awkwardly there. Fisher does.
On his head. That's Beckett landing on him.
Number
8.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 80. 15 yards from the previous spot. Repeat 2nd down.
Quite right, Ben Bray, guilty man in that situation, which helps the Caesars cause, as that will bring up 2nd and a long way.
Yeah, you know, both offenses have been very, very slow.
This second half particularly.
Yeah.
I mean, Reynolds there, he's got the wind in his face, to be fair, so trying to put a ball down the sideline like that is always going to be a difficult task. And that ball came out more like a punt than a pass. And now, instead of it being 2nd and 10, it's 2nd and 25.
Caesars unfortunate there not to get the interception.
But nevertheless, questions being asked of Sandwell and Reynolds in this offense. Spread formation again, 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. As Wilkins comes through and he's untouched on his way through, number 11 this time. Jeevan Sandhu, we mentioned Sandhu's name.
Big Bash. Very Big Bash making that hit.
You see again there, and pressure coming from Wilkins off this left end. But Reynolds stands in, and puts a good ball out there to Sandhu. And Sandhu manages to pick up positive yardage. But it will be 3rd and 20. Upcoming for Sandwell.
Yes. It's a long way to go for the Steelers, and Caesars defense showing them that they are a tough squad and can bring it close together when they need to.
So 29-19 still at the beginning of this 4th quarter. Reynolds surveys the field. A lot of pressure up front here from the Caesars defensive line, and they back off.
And there you go.
But then
Wilkins
Kieran's there. He's tucking the ball again. He's not got an option.
And he has got rid of the ball.
And good defensive play there from Kieran Matthews as we bid farewell to Mr. Tidswell, who's been a stalwart of all.
To say he's known this stadium for 50 years, he still doesn't know his
way
way
how
around.
to get out. He's been a stalwart of football in Nottingham for the past 40 years. And he's off for now to write his blog and publish his photos that he's been snapping all afternoon. So, 4th down. Alex McKenzie-Grist would be ready to punt, who was the man responsible for that last Caesars offensive possession with the interception of Johnson. And he puts the ball up. And it's a high floating kick, this one, and it's going to take a Nottingham bounce. And it continues to bounce Nottingham's way.
Well, that's brave, because that ball's live.
That was brave.
That's somebody not knowing what they're doing.
And unfortunately, that man is Sabella, who had his hands on the football twice now. Once for the interception
and once for the wrong reason.
Once for maybe he could have gained a couple more yards. And Dan Johnson comes out again to lead this Nottingham offense.
Turned and run the right way upfield.
You feel now that this is a must-score drive for Nottingham, being 2 scores down in the 4th quarter.
There's time to come back. Dan's got to reset. He's got to refocus. They know they're capable of scoring on this Sandwell defence. They've just got to get back to that 2nd quarter.
Robbie Jones leaves the field.
We've got Davidas at the bottom of his screen. There's a run to
John Holmes.
It's a great tackle by a Sandwell player on the far end of the line. Looks like number 85 for Sandwell, Adam Bates again.
The sun comes out here again in Nottingham, which has been a decent day for football. A little windy, but we're able to see some good skill production from both sides in parts. But now it really is down to Johnson and this offense to try and turn the screw a little bit to get back into this one and make it exciting.
You know, I think to some extent we expected Caesars' defense to hold up in the way it's done. You know, I hate to say this, but this is sort of what we were expecting Caesars' offense to do.
Holmes again.
But we have got a bit of a spark. Holmes has made 4 or 5 yards
flag there, and that will more than likely be offensive.
Yeah.
From the position where that flag has come from. More than likely holding. Illegal hands to the face, something of that nature. So for everything positive that occurs from the burgundy and gold, and negative impact.
Yeah, and it's a real shame to see, because that first half, let's see just what he calls. Officials turn his mic off.
They're waving the flag off, and they are waving the flag off indeed.
So yeah, from that first half, both offenses really shifting the ball. Defense is getting the odd 3rd down, 3 and out stop, but offense really being the focal point of the first half. It's
Jimmy Smith, 83. Does Troy Aikman hold a ball during broadcasts too? I don't know, but I just feel very comfortable with the football in my hand, James, right now. So I don't think it's affecting the quality of the coverage. I think it's just as poor as it normally is. As Johnson hands off, he doesn't hand off. He's gone for Davidas. He's got it.
Great grab. Oh.
No, he hasn't.
No.
It's going to be called incomplete. Wow.
Did look like he'd secured it, but
it did.
Again, that's number 21, Pete Roden. Now, the coverage.
Here's a replay. Let's have a look.
He
Great play action again.
Yeah.
Completely foxed me. I thought Holmes had got that football there, but
again, just snagging the ball though. But Roden.
let's have a look. Does he make the grab? Does he make a football move? Difficult to tell from that angle.
You know, Roden's right on his man, and regardless of whether it's a grab or not, that sort of pressure is great from any DB at this level.
Indeed. And Roden obviously has had 2 picks already.
Yeah, and he has, you know, that's going to go down as a pass breakup on him.
Jones Cross comes back onto the field to return this one when the sun will be in his eyes and the wind will be against him. And Danny Johns will look to try and pin the Steelers back deep and give his coverage team chance to get down the field. It's a good kick, but it's going to go
in.
Oh, unlucky. Needed more hang time on that, get a little bit of a off the bounce and come back into the field of play.
That last Caesars offensive drive seems to be the way that the second half's gone. It's 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Absolutely, and time is now ticking. Time is running out. Third quarter went pretty quick, to be fair.
Come on, Caesars.
Pam, and then your phone number. Come on, Caesars. Peak family watching from Skegby. Get 98 on. 98 being Ben Peak. So the Peaks are watching you, Ben. I can see him stand on the sideline there. Know much about Ben Peak? Is he a new player?
I think he's relatively new. It's not one that I've seen before, but I know they had a few new guys come down on Wednesday practice. So,
as Jimmy's just said as well, and one way to get yourself on is the pass is incomplete out to the left-hand side from Reynolds.
Get yourself on special teams. Dive on that field.
Well, get yourself on and also keep close to the coaches. Yeah, keeping your coach's ear. Put me on, coach. Put me on, coach. Don't mind what I do. Put me on. But I mean, having said that as well, there's a lot to be learnt as a new player, standing on the sideline, listening to what's going on and watching people in your position and what they're doing. His time will come as everybody's. Whether or not you can grasp that opportunity when you are put in. 2nd and 10, Sandwell. Reynolds hands the ball off this time. And Tom Harvey is on the tackle. James Jones Cross once again, the carrier, picks up maybe 2 or 3, and another big third down coming for Sandwell.
That running game just keeps the clock ticking. Certainly the dynamic of the game slowed right down.
It has indeed. I would say up until that third quarter, really, Dan's had one of his better games of the season, but for whatever reason he seems to have gone off the ball a little bit, and that will always start them thinking, do we see Ash? As Reynolds drops back on third down, he's under a little bit of pressure.
Wide open,
and there's that.
Also got 8.
Kennelly again. Yep. Kinnersley again, and that's that out pattern that rescued Callum Davidson.
Now something's going wrong in that defensive scheme if that out pattern's open every time.
And here it comes, and he comes across from here. Comes from the slot position.
Yeah, some
fumble.
That is a fumble, and that's why you don't play anymore. Dive on the ball. Coach, dive on the ball. Oh, he's actually going to dive on the ball. There's wires everywhere. Sandwell coming out, and it is first down after that great grab on that out route. Oh, Wilkins slips. James Jones Cross just can't quite get the grab.
The whistle had gone, but it was thought by the Caesars to be a lateral pass, which would have been a live ball, but it did indeed.
Was definitely forward.
It definitely did travel forward at least a yard.
Just slipping as he came around the edge there.
And that's a bonus for Nottingham because that does stop the clock. Well, it does. Wilkins does slip big time.
No, it's definitely a forward pass.
But I say the clock stops. Not quite sure how long we might have left in the game.
Something is definitely going wrong though for that out route to be open every single time. You know, it's almost like go-to play.
2nd and 10, Sandwell on their own 35-yard line. 29-19 the score to the Steelers in this NFC1 South clash.
It's James Jones Cross right at the middle, and
good tackle.
I thought he was going to break it. Whistle has gone, and pretty sure his knee was down.
Wilkins has a bit of fun with Reynolds there. It's all getting a little bit testy here now. You can see James Jones Cross up the middle, and the knee is down definitely, and then
down.
Wilkins picks it up and has a little trundle back towards Reynolds.
Nearly broke that. Just managed to get an arm on him. And if he does get into the open field, he's the sort of player that will make you pay for it.
Do you know as well, that's not the best spot either he's been given there.
No, certainly not.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought it was at least 4 or 5 yards further downfield.
It's always nice to see the officials are watching the game.
Absolutely. That's where I did expect it to be spotted, but 3rd and 5 now. Let's see if Reynolds looks for that out pattern again. Looking at the formation, Stephen Brown is in prime position for where that out may well go. He's backed a long way off, and Kennersley, but now Reynolds is keeping the ball, and he does fumble it. He does fumble that football.
Sandwell have recovered it.
Could have been Wilkins' big arm in there, snagging that one loose. See if we can catch it. You see Wilkins again off the edge.
Beckett nearly jumping.
Wilkins, it's not going to be Wilkins. It could be Mike Thompson. It's going to be Mike Thompson who strips that ball.
Great paw.
Good hustle. Bring up 4th down with the wind really picking up in the favour of Nottingham, but that means this kick will probably go quite high. Hardwick and Jones back deep to receive.
Interestingly, they've not really kicked the ball in Jones's direction.
It's a question, not knowing the sort of roster that well, and not in any slight meant towards Rob Hardwick, but is there anybody quicker or with better feet that might well be taking this position back there? What's the reason that Hardwick's back there?
Hardwick has a very good read of the game.
And it's blocked by Nottingham. And this time this could be good. Fisher looks up to pick up the ball. He picks it up, and Nottingham will take over on their 10-yard line for Sandwell.
Great block by Wilkins again with that penetration, and Fisher picking that ball up well.
Here's that replay again. As you say, look, Beckett's through, and there's no one untouched. Wilkins absolutely
untouched. He does well, actually, not to hit the kicker.
He does.
Beckett could have well been called for a block in the back.
Yeah. Nothing.
So he's got away with that, but
right, got to capitalise and got to capitalise quick.
Absolutely.
Quick.
Going back to that, what you said about Hardwick. Hardwick has a very good read of the game on special teams, and he can hit that hole. And when he does, he's not slow.
No,
you know, he's not a slow player by any stretch.
I remember beating him once.
That was in his younger days.
It was in my younger days as well.
I remember Tom Harvey, I think, possibly beating Mickey Fisher on a 9 route.
Wow.
Harvey is like. It might have been Mickey, it might not have been. But Harvey beat Caesars.
Sorry, Johnson, back to pass. Looks to his left, then he's right. He's got a man. Oh, and he had it in and out. 6 points begging there. And did have that, and that was a decent pass from Johnson that time.
But Fisher managed to recover that ball and get them into a real good spot.
But nothing more than a touchdown will do here. Nothing. No, sorry, nothing less than a touchdown.
And that was the right read. It was a good throw. Molnar just bobbling the ball.
So realistically, you're thinking 4 down territory from here, although.
Oh, it's got to be at this time.
Although there's not.
Field goal puts you in the game.
I was going to say, one way or another, you need points here. One way or another.
I mean, I don't know quite. We've not got a clock today, so how much time we've got left, I'm not sure.
2nd and 10.
Oh, and it's tossed to John Holmes, and
not
he's just taken out.
I'm not sure that's the right decision at all from there.
No, absolutely not, and that's number 19, Chris Wedderburn again, making that tackle in the backfield.
I know it's easy for us to call with hindsight about what's right and what's not, but
I don't think you call that play in many situations, and I think that was the wrong.
Because that's equally now made the field goal that much harder as well.
The running game is very difficult under the goalposts. The defense tightens up, and trying to do that, you know, your cornerbacks are closer to the running game. It makes things very difficult.
And now, from Nottingham's point of view, they've got
Molnar open.
He's caught it.
Have been called as a catch.
It's been caught as a catch, but now that is 4th down and goal, or 4th and 3. They can get a first down without scoring. Where the yard markers are, the first down was on the 11-yard line.
This is going to be an interesting call as to whether they do run.
Let's watch again. But that ball was in the air a long time that time from down.
It was the right read.
Yep, definitely so.
Molnar did really well to catch that inbounds.
Beats Paul Zinkus on the coverage that time. So what's going to happen? And
4 yards to go. Now the bonus is if you don't get it, your defense is in very good position.
Indeed. But time's the factor. You've still got to score twice. You've still got to score twice. 7 minutes to go.
7 minutes.
Okay, so So it does look like they're lining up more with the idea of running this one with the fullback in as
Jimmy has
Robinson goes to the
power
right.
run, and it is.
No, it's not. It's a fake, and it's caught, and it's a touchdown.
It's Jason Robinson, England's #1 fullback. We should state he's actually not England's #1 fullback.
And that pass was to the fullback in the flat.
It was.
So Jason Robinson living up to his
And there is
alma
a
mater.
Sandwell injury on.
So here he goes. You can
Man
see
down.
Robinson there, and Johnson again. Johnson off his back foot a little bit. It's not a lot of conviction. He's sort of.
It was a little bit of a pop pass.
Not
but,
stepping into it.
Ultimately, he's got the score.
But hey.
And there is a Sandwell injury, but he is up now. Looks like number 19 for Sandwell. That would be Wedderburn.
Definitely the right decision here to go for.
Yeah, they needed to. I don't think they had a. Regardless of time, I think that was the right decision.
Yeah, but I say to go for one instead of the two here as well.
Yeah.
But here we go. So, high snap. This could be tricky. And Johnson gets it up and away, and that's excellent. Really, really well done by that field goal unit. Kinnersley holding, and Johnson with the kick.
He did well to put that ball down to the ground.
And look at this. Just like that, we've got a 3-point game with about
absolutely.
6.5 minutes to go.
You know, Sandwell's offense hasn't actually scored this second half. It was a special teams play, and a great one. Don't want to take anything away from Sandwell. Their defense and special teams combined and got that score. Caesars now seem to be moving the ball, and we'll see if the Caesars defense can hold up.
So Nottingham 26, Sandwell 29, in what has been a real good top of the table clash.
Yeah,
and I tell you what, you know the way this is going now. If Nottingham can pull this one out of the bag, that might be their playoff berth booked.
It could be. Well, yeah. I mean,
because you're on about 6 and 4.
6 and 4 is usually. If you get 6 and 4, you're not guaranteed playoffs, but you're in a good spot.
And as Jimmy alongside just said, no disrespect at all, but with Coventry to come next week to then go 7 and 0.
Yeah.
So do you know what? This next 6 minutes could be pivotal in this Nottingham Caesars season.
That,
short kick fielded at the 15-yard line, and let's see if the coverage is good, and it is.
Having said that, Coventry have run them very close. As Darren Chown, Nottingham Caesars centre, number 73, has said over half-time, you know, they seem to step their game up against the better teams, and against the teams I think that people deem to be not so good, or as we discussed earlier, rebuilding teams, just seem not to pick that game up where they know they can be.
Sure. Now, that kickoff that we've just seen there, it was a short kick, and it doesn't look like John's. Just do that once more for me again if you can, Tom. Sorry. If you look at John's leg, the extension on John's leg, I'm getting technical now, but the extension on his leg almost seems to stop before it's even begun, which would hence why that ball sort of, particularly with the wind, only drops to about the 15-yard line. Yeah. Don't worry if we can't. Oh, you're at the end of that there. Don't worry, Tom. Don't worry. But anyway, yeah, so realistically, Sandwell's starting good field position for them. Reynolds obviously needs to try and get something going. We know that out pattern's been successful. Let's see if the defence can handle that. As James, that's met by Bash.
Yeah, Bash reading that play really well.
Twists him all sorts of ways.
Contortionist.
And now, so on a good stop on first down. Nottingham will hope to continue with this, and you know Sandwell are now going to start getting a little concerned.
Yeah, they're going to get antsy, but it's nice to see the Caesars defence stop that run. Particularly James Jones-Cross is a real threat on the ground.
As you were saying as well, though, about Coventry raising their game, I think if Nottingham, because correct me if I'm wrong, Nottingham never beaten Sandwell? Is that right?
No.
Nottingham never beaten Sandwell?
No.
So if Nottingham can do that this year, and right now, that will really catapult and springboard the rest of their season. Because this time last year, Nottingham were 5-0, and for whatever reason, just sort of limped the rest of the season.
Regardless of whether they win or lose this game, they have to take the positives away from this game, which have been very, very good.
Absolutely. Motion man this time, and the ball is taken in motion, and it should be stopped immediately, and it is. Wilkins in with the final tackle.
Yeah, I mean, Beckett and Kieran Matthews just missing those tackles, but Wilkins does make that tackle.
Josh Lawrence, who's shown he's got a little bit of pace this afternoon, but can't elude the tackling machine of Wilkins.
Yeah, Wilkins is he's a great defensive player.
And yeah, when we start thinking, midway through the season, we start thinking about potential situations down the line. The more wins you get, the more potential you have for a home playoff game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's really important. And to be fair, we've said this before, to play football in this stadium here, it's one of the best places, I think, in the country to play.
Yeah, having said that, there's a number of teams. Holton Spartans have now got a stadium.
Okay.
Manchester Titans, I believe, are now playing in a stadium.
Big
situation.
third down. Sorry, third down. Oh, in and out of the hands of Beckett, and he had victory in his grasp there. It must be said.
He was looking downfield before he'd even grabbed that football.
We're wondering whether James Beckett used to be a Steeler.
I think he possibly was.
Wow.
I think he possibly was.
Well, maybe then, if that's the case, maybe there's a bit of conspiracy going on. Maybe if Beckett used to be a Steeler and he's put a pick 6 down, I don't know, we think we need to start asking questions there. But nevertheless, a real good series again. Real good series from the Nottingham defence once again. As Mackenzie Grist is back to punt again, and the block is nearly, maybe it's a fantastic high kick. Held up and fair caught. Signalled the fair catch by Robbie. And Robbie does signal the fair catch. And he makes the catch. And then there's an argument from the Sandwell guys that he tried to make a move. I think all he was trying to do was elude the tackle. But yeah, lovely fair catch taken. And here we go then. Let's see if this offense can get working.
Yeah, it's... I mean, it could come down to the wire. Well, it will come down to the wire. Was that Barry? That was Barry just echoing through the stands.
The founder member of the Nottingham Caesars. Still feeling it. And this would be one of the biggest results for Nottingham in a good couple of years.
It would, yeah, absolutely. You know, but they do well. They're a solid team year in, year out. They just need to get that final conviction, that final killer blow.
Never quite, yeah, just step over the edge, absolutely. So here we go. Nottingham 1st and 10 on their own 37-yard line. Johnson with spread formation. He looks, he's got, oh my word. Oh my goodness.
It's number 21 again. Third interception, Pete Roden. And whether that was a miscommunication from the receivers or just a bad throw from Dan, that is not good.
Talk about taking the wins out of a team's sails. Let's watch again. You can see Davidas immediately is on the slant. And he's just thrown. Did Dan used to play for the Steelers?
I don't know, but you know, you've coached quarterback. I
have.
Don't really. Do you look before you throw the ball? That very much seemed like I'm throwing to Davidas.
It's a combination. If you've read a defense beforehand and you know exactly where you're putting that ball and where that receiver's going to be, then maybe not. But
that was a big miscommunication between the pair of them. And
the routes he had on there were obviously a slant to the outside receiver and the slot receiver into the flats, and he threw it almost like he was expecting the guy on a 9, yeah. So this time now they're going to run some clock.
Lee French there, a couple of yards.
So Reynolds will just run the clock, I'm sure, at this point. And I mean, to be fair, a field goal is not a disaster for Nottingham, although it means that they have to score a touchdown to win. But in all circumstances, with a 3-point differential, it would be a touchdown to win or the field goal to tie. But if they can hold them to the field goal, it's just the issue of the clock. So here we go, 2nd and 8, Sandwell. And what is becoming a real exciting climax to this game here in Nottingham. And it's a low pass.
It's nice coverage and nice pressure. Wilkins and Bash.
And that time, you see, Reynolds was thrown off his back foot. And one or two things happen if you throw off your back foot. Either there's too much air under it, or you don't get the distance and it hits the deck before it gets to the receiver.
Yeah, but it's better to hit the deck.
Not if you're a burgundy and gold player, it's not.
Yeah, but if you're the throwing quarterback, if it hits the deck, you know it's a relatively safe pass.
Bonus for the Caesars is that the clock will stop on that one. So 3rd and 8. Caesars desperately need to stop on this one, desperately, because not only will it enable the drive maybe to finish, but it'll knock them into real difficult field goal range.
Sandwell trips to the right.
So here goes Reynolds.
Lawrence at the top.
No pressure this time.
Oh, it's a wobbly ball.
Oh, and that is incomplete. Stops the clock.
Caesars defense will be happy with that.
Let's see what.
Do you think they've got a leg to kick
It looks like the field goal team's coming out. It looks like, and it is. I mean, to be fair, we've seen Alex Mackenzie Grist on kickoffs, on punts.
Yeah, he's got a boot.
And the sound of the thud.
The sound, the thud.
You know, so I mean, it's a
the thud machine.
It's a fair way out. The ball's going to be spotted. The ball's going to be spotted on the 39-yard line. So you're talking. Oh, it's a punt. It is. It is indeed.
I was going to say that's a long kick.
That's a heck of a kick. It's almost a 40-odd,
Well, it'd be 50 yards, wouldn't it?
field goal. But anyway, Mackenzie Griss will hope to pin the Caesars and Mickey Fisher back inside. And Mickey Fisher, what's a bad snap? And it's a little pooch kick. And not a great kick.
Gavin Young, the grab.
Coach Young.
Wow.
Young, one-handed on the shoulder. Can we get a replay of Coach Young?
That was...
Here we go. Oh, he's not on it. Oh, cameraman's missed. But you can see a little bit of pressure. And he tried to pooch kick this, just looking for the corner. Did well to handle the snap, and he's just overcooked it a little bit. And Coach Young manages to one-hand grab it on his shoulder.
Shame we didn't get it on camera. Now he'll never be able to tell people that it really happened.
No, because we'll tell
Having
everyone.
said that, you know, our cameraman managed to get that car in the ditch.
He did.
But fails to follow the football.
To be
Eyes on the prize. Eyes on the prize.
Just here, Coach, one of your ex-players. Robinson gets the ball, and he's on his feet. He's got a good run up the middle. That's a great gain on first down. Somebody just pointed out, in fact, Steve Matthews, whoever Steve Matthews is, just pointed out, Tom Harvey doesn't go down to a 3-point stance.
On offense or defense?
We're assuming from what we've just seen there, we're assuming I assume on defense, because we're only just taking on over an offense. On defense, fair enough.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He's been on 3-point stance for a lot of the defensive stuff. I would, if he's on O-line and not in 3-point stance, that's different.
Second down, Robinson has enough for the first down, which is good. Means Nottingham can reset and reload.
Have to keep an eye on that. But having said that, they don't seem to be running that much up the middle, so his nose tackle, he's not doing a bad job.
Nope. Oh, the wind really significant now here in the stadium, and
yeah, really picked up in Caesar's favour.
Indeed, and I suppose it gives the opportunity to put the ball downfield should Dan want to, as long as
2 left, 2 right.
So Johnson's got time.
He's got Molnar.
That's pass interference. That's got to be a flag.
No.
Nothing coming out at all. And even the commentators here are getting a bit testy, because that looked like his hands were all over his back, Molnar, before.
That was definitely a pass interference. That's going to
be
a flag. It's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct, I suspect.
And that's going to be against Davidas, do we think? Right, let's have a look again. Johnson puts that ball up.
Now, where does it land? It's certainly a catchable ball.
It is catchable. It's definitely a catchable ball. It looks like Sandwell are marching back, look. So, that official on the Nottingham sideline.
It's going to be a very late PI.
It really is. And that's the signal. The signal.
Yeah. It is.
So here we go. The signal on the Nottingham sideline, which is completely the opposite side of the field.
Having said that, if he feels it's the right call to make,
well, exactly.
I don't think they're going to move that ball.
The flag is being waved off.
But that was definitely the wrong call.
There is no foul on the play at all.
That was a very, very questionable.
Yeah, we'll agree to disagree, Mr. Official. But here we go, 2nd and 10 for Nottingham in this critical drive at the end of this game. Oh, Robinson. He's running.
That was awful. That's.
Do you know what that was? I don't get that play call at all. This time in the game, here we go, look. And not only is it stacked up, but then he's tackled by his own man.
Yeah, that's just, it's not good enough. They're trying to, I don't know what to say about that play. I know you're pretty disgruntled about that pass interference call. It was a blatant pass interference call. But it's the last play, forget about it.
3rd and 13, yeah, there's a possibility of that. A possibility to try and suck the defence into play action on this next one. So, it looks like we're going to try here onside to get video replays in the future, as Johnson does look back to pass. He's got time. Oh, that's going to be risky, that one.
Oh, it nearly got 4. Nearly got 4. Great coverage by Pete Roden again.
Here's that play once again. See, Roden is backed off already, at least 7 yards on Davidas, which means...
they know that's the target man.
Yeah,
they know.
Absolutely.
That's why they're picking him apart.
Johnson loads of time.
Got everybody under 9. You've
Looking
got
underneath.
J Moore's open, right? On the far side, he's got a good yard on his receiver.
It is unlucky from Roden.
And that, you know, it's not good enough.
Here we go. What about fake punt? What about fake punt and Danny Johns?
I would be surprised.
I would be amazed. And I would sack Coach Warner if he did that right now.
That's another, you know, just looking at Davidas. Don't look at Davidas. You've got 4 receivers out on the spread.
So, need a real good kick from Johns. Needs to extend that leg as high as possible. Get that ball held up in the wind. And then get the coverage team down there to put the returner under pressure.
It was a short punt.
Oh, it's taking a good bounce, though.
Good bounce, though, yeah.
No, keep going.
Touched it down.
Don't touch it yet, and now you can. There we go.
There's a punt at
Good
the end
result.
Of the day, yeah.
So Sandwell will take over inside their 15-yard line with a score 29-26 to the Steelers, the visiting Steelers.
That's a 2-minute. Is it timeout?
Yes, that's the 2-minute warning. That is the 2-minute warning. So Nottingham have 2 timeouts to their name. Sandwell have all 3 remaining. A turnover right now, and you think back to that Beckett dropped interception that could have gone for 6.
Yeah.
How important that could be. But you're
fair to say that Sandwell are probably looking to run this ball.
You'd have thought so. So Nottingham are going to have to burn those 2 timeouts. Hope they stop them on 3rd down. And then we know Mackenzie Griss, we know, has a good leg on him, and he's likely to pin the offense way back, and then it will rely on Dan again, and you'd think it's probably going to rely on Dan to Davidas. Here we go then, heavy backfield, 3 men in the backfield, and the ball is handed off, and that's a great tackle by Wilkins. Although Wilkins carried 3 yards before he came down there. Timeout Nottingham, as we expected. It'll be around about 1:56 to go now. The Sandwell bench looking obviously on with intent, and Nottingham still believing, but got to make something happen. And there's some scores and updates from double coverage, our friends up at double coverage. Edinburgh Wolves losing to the Sheffield Giants 20-13. Lancashire Wolverines down to the Merseyside Nighthawks 23-6. The Blitz and the Aztecs 10-6. Oh wow! Look at the Farnham Warriors score 98-0. We'll cut back to that again in a minute if we can. It's Sandwell on 2nd down, and they've got to be careful not to. That's brilliant.
Great defense.
Time. I tell you what, they've got to be careful though. If that board hasn't gone on that first snap count there, that's offside, and that's free yardage because they're looking very aggressive. Let's have a scores.
Having said that, if it is a penalty, clock stops.
And that's true. And that's from Nottingham's final timeout. West Coast Trojans already talked about. Yeah, that Warriors Farnham score.
Timeout Nottingham. 3rd and final timeout of the game.
Where's the mercy rule down there?
How do you even score 98 points? How is that even possible? 98-0. London Warriors, Farnham Knights.
Leicester Birmingham, pretty much as we might have expected there.
Yeah, but having said that, Leicester's offence not putting on that many points.
Nope. So yeah, some interesting scores from around the country. We must say, I mean, at the end of the day here today, even if Nottingham do lose, they still will be ahead on the table. It'll be 5 and 1, and
5 and 1.
Sam will be 4 and 1, but it's 3rd down now, and it's handed off again, and Nottingham wrap that up again. But the time will now click and click and click because Nottingham are without timeouts.
Tick, 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 tick.
Nottingham are without timeouts as Hardwick gets back ready to receive a punt. And we'll probably have around about 1 minute to go, and you've got to be thinking it's going to be pass, or it might be pass, pick. You never know. Anyway, let's try and be positive. One punt has been blocked already, whether or not they send the house and...
Robbie.
Thinking of all sorts of outcomes here. I'm not sure a lot of people think like you do, Jimmy. To be fair, I'm not sure a lot of people think that in depth about taking an intentional safety.
It's a smart call.
Intentional safety, then punting it back to Nottingham. It's a bad kick, actually. Kick is away, and it's a short one. It is a short one. It's going to that's going to take. Get out of the way. Get out of the way of that. There we go. So Nottingham have got it back. Like we say, we haven't got an official clock.
Well,
there'll be around about a minute left.
They're not far out of field goal range.
It is definitely in Hail Mary distance, but
range, you know.
Do you take 4 shots at the end zone rather than try and work the clock?
The way Sandwell's DBs have run today, it would be very brave if you chucked it deep 4 times. I think certainly when you get down to 3rd down, then you consider it.
Kind of thinking to myself, I mean, you could almost do with getting in field goal range first,
Absolutely.
then get a first down if you can. This is an ideal situation. Pick that first down up, get yourself into field goal range, and then take some shots at the end zone.
We know Dan can hit it from 40 yards out.
Yeah,
You know,
a field goal, you mean?
A field
Yeah,
goal.
absolutely.
But we'll see what they do. We know that Sandwell Steelers defense will be expecting the pass.
What we don't want is mis-execution. We want good reads.
Yeah,
Dan's looking, he's pumped. Oof.
That was a really nice pick-up by Sandwell's number 55 there.
But it was behind.
It was behind.
David Ash.
But if you look at the Steelers' defense, everybody is dropping off except the lineman. So see if they come back out in a pass. That's it. As Dan jogs back over after discussing with the offensive coordinator.
It will soon become 4-down territory regardless.
It
In
will.
fact, it's 4-down territory now anyway.
Oh, yeah.
From this distance out, it's got to be.
Now, interestingly, they have noticed that it is 2nd down. Again, Steelers only sending 3 men. Leaves them 8.
Molnar that time, the attempt.
He was open.
He was. The clock stops again though, so that's not too bad. The clock stops again.
Now I think here you seriously have to consider going deep. You've got 10 yards to go. Yeah, you got 10 yards to go. But we don't know how long we've got left. There won't be long though.
No, that's difficult for us to obviously then speculate about what you do. I mean, 40 seconds left. You could, if we got that outplay that Sandwell had been operating so well, to hit that and then out of bounds, and but we've not seen any evidence of that so far. Robbie comes in motion. That play that goes up the
They
seam.
are going for it, but it's another
J-Moore.
throw. J-Moore's got it!
Oh my goodness me! Oh my word!
They've got it!
That is remarkable!
Wow!
And the Caesars sideline go crazy!
There are no flags on the play.
No flags. J-Moore Thomas, Dan Johnson, under a minute to go, and Nottingham take the lead.
Well, when J-Moore needs to make the grab, J-Moore Thomas makes the grab.
Wow! So here we go, fake to Robbie Jones, and Johnson puts up a prayer. It looks like it's underthrown, and the defender drops off him. And J-Moore, wow!
That play could have gone either way. Either way.
There's a question here. We may well have a look at that replay again after the extra point. I don't know if we'll be able to do that, but there's a question up here, and obviously there's been nothing called yet. So once this kick is taken, then there's nothing going to be able to be done about it. But there's a question as the extra point is down. Oh dear me! Oh,
there's a flag.
There's a flag, and that's going to be a hold at least, but it'll be declined. Something against the offense. So they're a 3-point game.
That's interesting. Sandwell obviously have 3 timeouts left.
Oh dear me. What an end to this one.
And we know that Sandwell have a tendency to come back in close games.
Yeah.
So
let's just see what the call is initially from the official, because it could be, if it's a defensive penalty, and it's a defensive penalty. So that means
possibly.
Thanks, Mr. Official. Here we go.
Personal foul on the defence, roughing the snapper, half the distance to the goal, retry.
So the snapper on an extra point or field goal isn't allowed to be touched, and obviously therefore it's been deemed that the defenders have come straight over the centre.
So for every bad call that the officials have made today, missed PIs on both sides of the ball.
Indeed.
They have.
I tell you what, sorry, Coach. There's a flag right in front of the holder. There's a flag right in front of the holder, but at least it gives them a chance to practice the snap.
It's a nice snap
so
as well.
It was a good snap. The next one will be over his head.
Yes, could well be.
But yeah, so have we got the replay? No, we'll hang on, Tom. We'll hang on. But yeah, there was a maybe a little bit of a. Did J-Moore push off, and that's why his DB ended up on the floor? Do you know what? It was right behind that pillar, and I didn't see it.
I did wonder why the DB dropped, but whether he was attempting to dive for the ball, I'm not sure.
I don't think we could underestimate this. This would be one of the biggest results for Nottingham in the last half a decade, last 5 years at least.
Certainly in my time in the club, and that's 8 years.
If they can pull this out of the bag, this would be remarkable, and it would throw the division wide open. Here we go then. Let's see if the snap can be a bit better. It's not the best. Johnson up, and that's beautifully done and stretched out to a 4-point lead.
That 4-point lead is very, very crucial. We know that Sandwell have brought this back from the Falcons in close games.
We know Mackenzie Griss has got a boot on him as well, so that now takes him out of the equation.
And we know that in this game, as we've just witnessed, anything can happen.
Now, so far, Reynolds has completed a couple of short balls, completed a couple out sort of on those out patterns. If you've got Davidson in there, you'd be a little bit more confident. Has Reynolds got the not only the experience but also the composure to lead this team down the field?
Go back to that touchdown play. It's worth mentioning.
Let's see if we can. So we've got this touchdown. Now just watch. Keep your eye on Jay Moore at the top of the screen.
Now those Sandwell defense got drawn in.
Here we go. Let's just watch right about here. Why does he go down? No, nothing at all. He just slips.
It's well worth mentioning.
He misread. I think the DB misread the flight of the ball.
It's well worth mentioning that Dan didn't look to Davidas.
Jay
Moore was one-on-one.
Now you know what?
Davidas double coverage.
The whole game, Dan's been setting that up. Little squib kick, line drive squib kick, making it difficult to.
That was really well taken.
It was well taken.
Now if he gets, he's a dangerous man.
That's a great pop.
Nice tackle.
Rob Hardwick, the electrician, sparks him out.
Short circuit. So
blew his fuse.
Let's see what Sandwell can bring to the equation. Obviously missing their starting quarterback Callum Davidson.
I'd love to know how long's left, whether we're talking 30 seconds, 20 seconds, what are we talking? I'd love to know. But the equation is this: Sandwell have got 60 yards, 65 yards to pay dirt.
Yeah, Callum Davidson obviously missing from the game. Joe Reynolds.
The Nottingham defence has bent but not broken all day long.
Can Joe Reynolds bring this game back for Sandwell? Josh Lawrence doing a bit of a chicken dance on the sideline.
62 total points in this game, and an absolute thriller in the sunshine here in Bilborough. As Reynolds drops back.
Maths to say you couldn't add 5.
Now that could be picked. That could be the game over.
Oh!
And I think Hardwick's got it.
It'd be interesting to see what they call.
Hardwick's got it. I think it is signalled Nottingham ball, and the electrician, Sparky himself, Rob Hardwick, who's been out.
Another pick to add to his list this year.
And what an important one that is. Let's look at this again. I mean, Reynolds has got to be looking for something special. The ball is obviously held up.
Bad throw.
It's held up a little bit in the wind, but great coverage, great concentration from Rob Hardwick.
Yeah, number 18.
And he's telling everybody about it.
That's Ben Bray. He just couldn't quite get his hands in to stuff that play.
So Sandwell still 3 timeouts.
They have got 3 timeouts. Now I would be very interested in getting a time check.
Is there any way we can find out the time?
So there is 5 seconds left of the game, so all they need to do, I'm not quite sure what that was by Dan.
Well, Dan's just going to run. He's going to run and run and run. It should go down in bounds, which he does. That right there, all being well.
That is the game.
Let's just see. Wait for the official to hold that ball up, and there it is.
Wow.
What a result that is.
I think first thing we should do is apologise for our call at the start of the game. I think we were both expecting a whooping.
People say to me about watching EastEnders and Corrie and all these dramas, and it's all good. This is the best drama you could ever wish to see. Turn on any sport of any nature, because as much as you think you know what's going to happen, you never ever know.
You can't take any credit away from Sandwell. Sandwell played it very, very well.
And again, without trying to do Nottingham a disservice, if Callum had been in at quarterback for that second half, it might have been a different situation.
You got to wonder.
But
when it counted, Caesars made the plays, Caesars got the ball in where it needed to go, and Caesars got the win.
And Dan Johnson has come back from adversity, throwing a couple of picks, not playing well in that third quarter, and really, when it counted, really doing the business.
You know, I wonder whether, obviously he's going to be happy that they got the win, but looking at him, I'm not sure whether he's crying with disappointment or...
No, it won't be disappointing. He will be...
He's got to be over the moon with that. He's got things to work on, certainly. But to throw that ball, and it was a very nice ball, that's some top play.
Well, what a fantastic end to this one. So, as the players shake hands, we're going to leave you for a couple of minutes and come back for our post-game show. just to wrap things up here in Nottingham, but we'll leave you for the moment with the score here in an absolute thriller. The Sandwell Steelers 29, the Nottingham Caesars 33. We'll be back in a bit. We're just moving around.
Coaching is the best I've ever had.
The amount of effort they put into the sessions is phenomenal.
We're able to give a level of instruction that these players aren't typically used to.
Everything we already thought we previously knew, getting turned upside down.
Wow. What do we say about that?
I'm a little bit in shock. It was what a way to come back. That third quarter, I think, from both teams was awful. The fourth quarter certainly was much better on both sides of the ball for both teams. But Caesars just coming out, and I don't know where that came from, but it was a fantastic play. Jamel made the grab when he needed to make the grab. You can't take anything away from Sandwell. They played an excellent game. But Caesars just pulling it out of the bag at the last minute.
For me, you didn't know where that was going all the way through.
No,
I mean, it was nip and tuck. I'll be honest, at the beginning it started like we thought it might, with Nottingham being a little nervous and making discipline penalties, then getting that early touchdown, which buoyed them, obviously. The block punt against the Caesar, which was recovered for a touchdown at the beginning of the second half. And you kind of think, you get into this, oh, here we go again, type situation.
Certainly at the start of that third quarter, that defensive or special teams touchdown by Sandwell, it takes a lot to come back after that and pull off a win like that. And I think the coaches have probably done a great job. I'd have thought the coach was doing a great job there, trying to keep the team positive. Dan Johnson obviously thrown a couple of picks, but when it mattered, he made the throw.
Was there a turning point particularly, do you think, in that? I mean, I can't think of one. We talk about momentum, and we talk about Big Mo being one and then the other.
I mean, the first half was far more dynamic, certainly more movement. But the third quarter was just abysmal from both teams. You know, nobody took advantage of poor play. Defenses took advantage of poor offensive play. But there wasn't really, I don't think, a particular moment when it really turned. I was thinking it would have been the start of that second half when Sandwell ran it in for the that fumble recovery.
Sure.
But I can't really think of a point where it drastically turned around. Caesar's defense obviously did a great job containing Joe Reynolds.
And again, except for there was that one particular play over and over, the out pattern.
There wasn't
Reynolds
that play. There wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
They really bought the second half.
Reynolds and Callum both seemed to hit that one with relative ease.
You've got to wonder whether Callum Davidson being in the fray, that second half would have changed things around. I suspect it would have done, but they did the cards they were dealt. They did very well.
Well, I'll tell you what as well. The very last game of the season, I think it's the 30th of July, is Sandwell away.
It is, and that's going to be a big game.
Now, depending on how things go, obviously there are 3 games for Nottingham before that. We have the Coventry Jets back here at Harvey Haddon next Sunday on Father's Day. With all due respect, should be another W for Nottingham. Should be, but based on today.
Yeah, Coventry have seen Caesars twice already this year. They're a former Premiership team. There is no reason they can't get the win. So Caesars are going to have to keep fighting and doing what they're doing at the moment.
There's always a danger of a victory like this, as well as buoying a team and making them push on. There's always a danger of that team then being complacent and thinking we've just beaten the division champions from last year.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got to stop that complacency. You can't allow it to happen. But as we've said previously, and a couple of the Caesars players have said, they have a tendency to really step the game up against the better teams. And again, no discredit to Coventry. because we've seen it twice already. They haven't really stepped that game up to know where we know they can play.
I think this time last year Nottingham were 5-0 and they came into the Sandwell game, and I think they were almost thinking, we've got this.
Yeah.
We're going to walk this. We're going to beat Sandwell.
Yeah.
I think today was the complete opposite. I think they've come in and known they've struggled against Birmingham and Coventry.
I think they've been told that by the league.
Yeah, sure.
It's the same sort of situation I found myself in when we played Manchester Titans, who'd had 2 years unbeaten. And our guys were thinking we're gonna get a whooping, but they turned around and they won that game. And I think having that, not going in overconfident.
Sure.
You can't get overhyped. You've got to stay calm. You've got to stay collected, and ultimately you've got to do what you're doing, and you've got to penetrate everything correct. I've got to execute. That's the word I'm looking for. It's a family show.
I can see some smiley gentlemen coming up here, and I'm hoping they're going to join us. Coach, come on in, Coach. Come on in, Coach. You go that way. Tatum will get.
I can try and go that way a little bit.
Coach Bosley. Congratulations, Coach. You can see you're on the telly, so please do not swear. Go on in. I know you don't swear. You don't get in trouble with the officials or anything, do you? There's the camera, so you can look into that rather than looking at the screen. So wait, say hi, Mum. There you go. Well, how you feeling?
I am on top of the world. My boys have done something that's been really, really wanted to do.
Talk us through that game out. I mean, it's just.
Listen, I've got a set of young coaches that have really stepped up. They're working their butts off all the time to make an improvement. And today we saw that. We competed at the top level, but we beat the top level. We're where we need to be now.
I think everybody nationwide always underestimates the Caesars and always thinks, it's never going to happen. And you think we've proved today. Well, there you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, if you're looking and listening, talk.
For those of
Coach.
you I don't know how many of you heard that because he's not actually got a microphone in his hand, but he has now got a microphone, so he can shout that back down the camera.
No, they'll hear you in this a little bit, don't worry. Anyway. First game against Coventry when we were out in the stadium, I gave you a game ball. I'm going to give you another game ball today, Coach. It's your ball still, I've just nicked it out of the bag, but congratulations on a really well-deserved victory. No, it's number 10, mate. All right, I've got 9 more in my bag. Anyway, it's lovely to see you, and congratulations. We're going to have a chat to some of your players. So is there anything you want to say just in parting?
I just want to say that all the guys, every player today and coach took a step up that ladder to a better place, and we're there and we're staying there.
6-0, Coach.
The rest of you guys out there, we're coming for you.
Opened up a 2-game lead, Coach. 6-0.
6-0.
There you go.
7-0 next week. Let's go, Caesars!
Somebody's over there. Are we getting Tom Harvey and Jay Moore?
Let's have Tom and Jay Moore if we can get in. Come squeeze in, boys.
We'll try and squeeze down for you.
Congratulations, Tom.
Tom, you're too big.
Congratulations, Jay.
Thank you.
Well done, buddy. You grab that between you.
Cheers.
Right. You're big enough as it is. Get off the step, man. Look. What are you doing? There you go. Particularly, I suppose, the last quarter. What was going through your mind when that ball was in the air?
It was really just to concentrate on the ball, get that ball, and then it all went blank. I remember the ball was in my hands and I was in the end zone. And next thing you know, I didn't even realise, but I got the game-winning touchdown. So
no disrespect to you or to anybody, but from up here, the Coventry, and I said to Dan at half-time, obviously, the main target on the Caesars is Davidas, and I think teams know that, and I think the Sandwell Steelers played that a little bit today. Yeah. So for you to actually come up big there at the end and make that pressure catch when it mattered, what does it mean for, not just for you, what does it mean for the Caesars?
It just means that all the hard work's been paying off. Like, we've got a very talented squad. All of us have been working so hard at training. We've been getting down to receivers, especially making plays. All of us, we're determined to make the plays that matter. So, we may have exceptional players, but we've got great players as well. So, it means a lot.
Fantastic to watch. Tom, offense, defense.
Yeah, I've been playing a bit of everywhere today.
Yeah, use that mic, buddy.
Yeah, special teams as well today. So, I was utilised. I went wherever the coaches needed me today.
How was it in the trenches?
Tough. Sandwell have got a brilliant D-line and O-line.
Okay.
Probably one of the best I've come up against, and I played at Derby.
Yeah, sure.
And that was in the Prem. So full credit to those guys. They gave everything, but so did we.
Danger. Next week could almost be your trap game. You've got Coventry coming. You've just beaten Sandwell. How do you maintain the level you've just performed there? Because Coventry have run you close twice.
Yeah, they have, but we've got to play up to our level now that we know we can achieve. We've beaten the best in our league now, or one of the best anyway. So we are a force to be reckoned with now. We are the Caesars. They've seen what we can do now. And it's nice that people like Robbie Jones as well, coming up through the junior system, and Dan Johnson as well, obviously come up through the junior system. It's nice that now these players are seeing game time in the senior squad.
Well, I know Coach is very proud of you and Robbie particularly.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why I'm proud of you, but certainly Robbie.
I love the coaches here. I love the family here. You can't ask for a better group of guys to support you through everything.
How are you? Obviously coming from Derby Braves as well, you've played some uni ball this year. How are you finding, or what's the difference between senior football and the university level?
Well, apart from Sandwell, the D lines weren't hitting as hard. They weren't able. This is no disrespect to them, of course, but the D lines in uni ball, they study more. They have more classroom sessions because the students are there all the time.
Yeah, easy to get them together.
Yeah, they're all there in the one place where it's harder to do that with senior teams. So they're well drilled, but the D line today for the Sandwell, they were well drilled. They were tough big guys, and it was tough for me. It was tough for me every snap. So yeah, it is difficult no matter what level you play at. But yeah.
I think I should. Sorry to interrupt you, Matt. I think your quarterback is waiting for an interview.
He is.
So we probably should get the man of the moment.
Congratulations once again. Congratulations. Enjoy the evening. Get back on it on Wednesday, and we'll see you next Sunday. That's Jay Moore Thomas and Tom Harvey there. Jay Moore, the game-winning receiver, and here's the game-winning quarterback. How you doing? You good?
Yeah,
you grab that, man.
I can't say that I was waiting around to do this because I don't really like doing interviews.
You love it, really.
Yeah.
I've been around the club obviously years and years. You've been around the club years and years. In terms of this victory, how does it compare to others you've had in the past?
Well, I've got to say, from my point of view, this is one of the biggest victories that I've been a part of over the years. Teams are just getting better and better, and the schemes that they're running are just improving every year. So. Yeah, to date, this is probably one of the best victories that I've had. So,
this for me is a hump game for the Caesars. I think the Caesars get to a point every year, and we think, we're there, and then we get to that particular level and just come up short. Today there was a risk that we were going to come up short again. However, whatever's gone on, we've got over that hump, and I think it sets us up really well for the rest of the season. I don't know what you think about that.
I mean, to be quite honest with you, I think we should have been playing like this against the teams in the first 5 games. If we had done, the scores would have been a better outcome. It wouldn't have looked so tight, and people wouldn't have been writing us off in this game. But we've come today against a really strong team, a team that people are saying these guys should be top of the conference. These guys should be top of the division in the playoffs. And we've come today and we've proved that we've got a talented unit, a talented team to beat the top teams out there.
So tell us what was going through your mind when that ball left your hand.
Well, first of all, I was looking at the pass interference because I thought it was PI all day, and I was just wondering whether Jay Moore was going to get round his guy to catch the ball, and then I saw him just peer around the back, and I thought he's got this. To be quite honest with you, I didn't think I put enough on the ball.
Didn't seem to hold up.
But yeah, it just held up. But no, I'm over the moon. I'm speechless with what's just happened because when we were in that tough position of 3 points down, as you saw, I threw a pick. It was a stupid pick. It was just me rushing, and the pressure had got to me. And like I say, I just cut that out though. I've got a great coaching staff behind us and a great team, and teammates telling me just to control the pressure and just work to my ability that I can play at. So I've got those guys behind me, so I'm grateful for that.
I've known you obviously on and off, but I've known you a long time.
Yeah.
I've known you when you first came into the game.
Since I was a little boy.
As a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But and I tell you what, over the years, and particularly this year, there've been people who have wanted your number. You've had your critics.
Yeah.
We've commented, and we as commentary team, and I said to you at half time, as much as because I feel like you're somebody that almost I'm a bit responsible for getting into the game.
Yeah.
It's hard to see somebody struggling at times like you have done.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, today, the resilience you've shown, and you said about making bad decisions, and the resilience you've then shown to lead your team down the field and have the confidence to throw that ball at the end, to a receiver who isn't your number one go-to guy and give him that confidence, that responsibility. It shows a hell of a lot about Dan Johnson as a character.
I appreciate that.
All right, and a hell of a lot about him as a man.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
We're just really proud for you. 6-0.
Yeah, 6-0.
2-game lead.
Yep.
Coventry next week.
Yeah, we've just got to keep this tempo up. We've got to keep this going as a unit and as a team. We can't take our foot off the gas and think, oh, we've beaten Sandwell, every other team's going to be a walkover. It's not. Guys are still coming. Even the guys that are at the bottom of the division, they're still coming hard and they're still prepping for games to get the wins. And we need to be. We can't be complacent. We need to be on the ball and switched on. So we just go back to training, work on it.
There you go.
Take every game as it comes.
There you go. Well, enjoy tonight.
All right, thanks a lot.
Congratulations again. Really proud to have been here watching it with you.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see you here next Sunday.
Okay,
all right, buddy. Take it easy, Dan. See you soon.
Rest up.
Wow. We've never done a post-game show like that because we've never had a result like that. And you can feel the energy.
Yeah.
You can feel the belief. And I say for the likes of Dan, and we mentioned about Jay Moore and the fact that they've been questioned about his hands and his reliability, that will serve them no end of good to leave here today, regardless of who's playing quarterback for the other team.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because the defence didn't seem to suffer any losses from Sandwell.
Absolutely,
so that was their first team defence.
But having said that, there's obviously great positives. They've got the win. But the negatives there, they need to sort that out. So they'll have to come hit hard training Wednesday and obviously start prepping for Coventry pretty quick.
Sure.
And iron out those final little niggles that they've got.
Indeed. But onwards and upwards, definitely for Nottingham. Before we wrap this up, we've got the full-time scores to bring you from around the country, courtesy of our friends there at Double Coverage. So you can see there, apologies for me looking at the screen, but things pretty much staying as they are. That London Warriors score
that's a big score.
That's a monster. It's a monster.
That shows what they are, a real powerhouse.
Leicester ending up putting 30 points on Birmingham and holding them out. Obviously, you see our result here, which obviously is the result of the day. Oxford Saints beating the Solent Thrashers 33-14. The London Hornets and the Cambridgeshire Cats, 3-3 game.
That's an interesting, good defence.
Not necessarily as inspiring a game that we've watched this afternoon, but some interesting results from around the country. Manchester Titans there 21-6 over the Yorkshire Rams. But all in all, George, I think it's been a while since I've been involved or around a game like that in this country.
It's been a good game. I think the last one that we did was quite up to that thrilling final moment. Was probably the Bucks final that we witnessed.
Indeed,
Sterling Klansman, Hertfordshire Hurricane.
Indeed, that was a bit.
Durham Saints.
That was back and forth.
It was, and then that final snap that bust up. But what a great play! Dan keeping his composure when he needed to most. Sandwell will be disappointed and they'll come back hard when they play Caesars the next time round.
But the nice thing is, Caesars now have opened up a 2-game lead in the division. They've got Coventry next week, which all being well, they can eke another result out of. And then the rivalry games, the back-to-back Leicester games, which will be absolute humdingers.
Yes.
They really will.
Absolutely.
So, from a very very sun-soaked Harvey Haddon Stadium, I want to thank George.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
As
I want to
always.
thank our executive producer for the day, Tom Howe, who's done a fantastic job. Really fantastic job. We've been understaffed a little bit today with Aidan not being here and Steve Matthews not being with us. So Tom Howe has put all this together this afternoon, done an absolutely incredible job. Alex on the camera. Alex has done an incredible job.
And Tom's done such a great job. He's taken us all for steak for tea.
Woohoo! All that remains to be said from here is we leave you with the final score of an absolutely jubilant Nottingham Caesars team 33 and a Sandwell Steelers visiting outfit 29. We'll see you back here on Father's Day next weekend for the return of the Coventry Jets, 3rd game of the season. But until then, enjoy the rest of your day and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.